got the Hebrew Israelite to coming week in, week out to prophesy the falling of the wicked kingdom, the so-called America. But before we starting, let's give all praises to the Holy Father and the Son in the Paleo Hebrew tongue. Bahashem,
Bahashem,
Yahweh,
Yahushai,
Bahashem,
Bahashem,
Ha,
Ha,
Raka,
Waka,
Kodash,
Kodash,
Mama.
Mama.
They're giving all praises to the Holy Father and the Son. Let's give all praises to the 144,000 elect from the 12th tribe of Israel. Let's give shalom to our older Amawan, and let's give all praises, to this topic today.
All right. And also giving double honor to our apostles and elders, the great millstone, and our elder Herawan here as well. And salutations to all the Akim that are out here pushing the truth and sincerity and truth. And you at home that turn on your YouTube every Saturday and watch us. This here is for you. So what we have been taking place right now from beginning all the way to Genesis to Revelation is a controversy that that the Most High has against these nations. And within all that, he's keeping close watch on the apple of his eye, which is the children of Israel. All right. So he has a judgment coming to this place, right? And he's going to conquer these nations. All right. And he's conquering these nations through who? His the one on the right hand side, his only begotten son, Yahweh Shai. Somebody bring out that Revelation 6:1 real quick.
This is Revelation 6:1. And I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals, and I heard, as it were, the noise of thunder. One of the four beasts saying, "Come and see."
Right. This is a revelation. This is something that being shown, a vision that's being shown to John the Revelator, who was exiled to the salt mines in the Isle of Patmos. All right. Was it around like 90 AD? Around there? Yeah. All right. All right. Go ahead.
Revelation 6:2. And I saw, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat on him had a bow, and a crown was given unto him.
So,
and he went forth.
Go ahead.
He went forth conquering and to conquer.
All right. So now people think that because Yahweh Shai is not here on earth yet, that he hasn't conquered. But if you think about it, you go all the way back to Assyria, Babylon, Persia, Greek, Rome again, America, NATO to what we have today, right? That's Yahweh Shai conquering all these nations. And the end result is going to be him sitting on the throne, not only in the heavens with the Father, but here on earth with the government body of the children of Israel, the tabernacle of David, right? But there's a lot of judgment that's going to be taking place with this happening. But all the time this judgment is taking place, he's keeping a close watch on the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans and the speckled bird that are scattered throughout these four corners of the earth as his chosen people. All right. So that angel riding on that white horse is Yahweh Shai. All right. All right, that was good. Let me get that on Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse
Deuteronomy 32 and 39. It says, "See now that I, even I am he, and there is no God with me."
And that's what the Most High is establishing on the earth. All right, just like he did in Egypt. He rose up Pharaoh to show his power forth on the earth. And he's doing the same thing with Esau. So no matter how much torment that the children of Israel go through, the Most High has set a bound that these devils cannot surpass. All these nations cannot surpass, according to the number of the children of Israel. Go ahead.
It says, "I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal."
So now, if he kills and makes alive, so the judgment or the persecution that we suffer from Israel, from Esau, right, is the Lord using them to show forth his anger towards the children of Israel. Actually, he's using all these nations to show forth his anger against the children of Israel. But within that, he's going to show gratitude and mercy, right? Because we're not going to get that from these other nations. The only way we're going to get gratitude and mercy is through Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Go ahead.
It says, "I wound."
Interjection. All right. Go ahead.
It says, "I wound and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand."
All right. So now he wounds and he's healed. So those petrifying swords that we got, according to on the book of Isaiah, all right, the Lord is going to heal those, but he also wounded us in his anger, all right, because of our disobedience, because of us not listening and following to the guidelines of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai and choosing the idolatry and the ways of these other nations, all right, being Hellenized, all right. Now you can't Roman Catholicism is the the fundamental source of our idolatry, man, because everything comes from that. No matter if it's Islam, Buddhism, all that shit comes from ancient Babylonian worship, ancient Assyrian worship, ancient Egypt worship, all right? And it's all conglomerated together to conform Roman Catholicism. So you'll find each one of those forms of idol worship in Catholicism, man. So what they try to do is they take the truth and bend it into a lie and causing our people to construct to the minds of their wickedness. That's all the way to 43. All right.
Verse 40, it says, "For I lift up my hand to the heaven and say, I live forever."
Come. And that's how we say we live forever through Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, man. That's how we live forever. But there's gross darkness on this earth. And all you see around amongst this earth is death. You want to bring it in? Oh, you got one?
Yeah, when he said, "I kill and I make alive,"
Come.
that's a twofold.
Come.
He kills physically in the physical body, and he can also make you alive again. But also, he's talking about it as a nation.
Come.
He can kill a nation and put you in hell on earth, and then bring you to life again, like us.
Come.
All right. This is Wisdom of Solomon 16 and 13. "For thou hast power of life and death.
Come.
Thou leadest to the gates of hell and bringest up again."
Boom. So he led us into captivity, all right, under Esau. Well, what is he doing? Bring us up again. Somebody get Second Samuel,
right,
chapter 2, verse 7, I think.
Right. And that's the Lord. The Lord will raise up a nation just to put hell on us if we don't listen to him. And that's what the brother going into.
God.
Brother cannot going into.
God. All right, bring this out real quick.
This is the book of Daniel, chapter 4, verse 17. "This matter by the decree of the watchers and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men and giveth it to whomsoever he will."
All right, so now, go ahead.
High ruleth in the kingdom of men and giveth it to whosoever he will, and set up over it the basis of men.
All right, so now he set up over it the basis of men. So we're probably going to come back to that scripture when we get a little more into the lesson. But the Most High, every nation that's set up and every captivity that we've been led into has been set up by Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, man. And just like the elder said, that the Lord leadeth to the gates of hell. All right?
Right. Just like you do it. See, the nations will be the fire, and we will be the gold that the Lord is purging.
God.
You know what I mean? So he raises, turns the fire up, turns the fire down.
God.
Yeah, increase a nation,
God.
just to put more hell on us, increase their hatred towards us, and then he'll turn that hatred down, man.
Boom. So think about it. So by the time we came from Assyria, Babylon, Egypt, Assyria, Babylon, Persia, right, into Greeks during the Hellenization time, when we went into this captivity, we had so much impurities on us, he had to turn the fire up a little bit more with Esau and his Roman captivity, man, the captivity in America. All right, bring that out real quick.
This is 1 Samuel chapter 2, verse 6. "The Lord killeth and maketh alive. He bringeth down to the grave and bringeth up."
So understanding what the scriptures that just been brought out is, you know, the Lord rules in the kingdom of men, and he set up over it whomsoever he will. And right now he has us set up over the basis of men. So that lets you know that they didn't do anything to get in their power seat, but their mind had deceived them to think that they did that on their own. But the Lord lifted them up to bring judgment upon us, and he has his wrath and his fury that he's going to bring upon them. Go ahead.
Verse 7. "The Lord maketh poor and maketh rich. He bringeth low and lifteth up. He raiseth up the poor out of the dust and lifteth up the beggar from the dunghill."
The Lord, the elder just did a lesson talking about how Jacob, we're the beggar right now, man. All right, and the Lord is lifting us up from the dunghill. So we're walking around seeing the dust of the earth, but that was Esau's blessing, man. No, that was a serpent's blessing in the garden. So now we're down here on the ground with the serpent. But the Lord is lifting us up through the spirit of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. Go ahead.
"To set them among princes and to make them inherit the throne of glory. For the pillars of the earth are the Lord's, and he hath set the world upon them."
All right, so now he said what he saw princes as servants, and slaves as masters, roughly paraphrasing. All right, so you're seeing it upside down. Well, really it's right side up, because we're talking about the judgment of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua and the purging and the perfecting of the children of Israel, starting with his elect. All right, you got a precept? Yeah, go ahead, bring that up. Hold on.
This is Song of Solomon, chapter 1, verse. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 10, verse 7. It says, I have seen servants upon horses and princes walking as servants upon the earth.
Right, and that's what you're seeing right now by seeing the children of Israel in poverty, seeing the children of Israel subjective under their curses and in subjection to these devils, man, in this system, man. And it's no way out. And right about now, without our power, we couldn't find our way out of a wet paper bag, man. Go ahead.
It's Revelation chapter 2, verse 9. I know thy works in tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich.
And that means that our nation really doesn't understand what true riches are. Because what do we talk about all the time? We talk about the poverty. Man, we all in the ghettos. But within the ghettos, what did he leave? He left his spirit. But so it's up to us to claim our true riches. But no, 2/3 of our people are running after the riches of Esau, running after his blessing. All right, but they're by doing that, they are out of bounds. And as we go further into the lesson, you're gonna understand what we're talking about, meaning that they're out of bounds. Go ahead.
I know thy works in tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich, and I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan.
All right, so they're the synagogue of Satan. That falls under some of the ones that are a part of the fold are the synagogues of Satan, claiming to be Israel, but all they're doing is putting Israel back to sleep. And for those fake Jews sitting on our land right now, man, who does not want to allow anybody to proclaim themselves as, or confess themselves as being the children of Israel. Right, so they try to choke it out of us when we claim our riches, right, and try to get us to continue to chase after their riches, which is deception. All right, go back.
Right back at Deuteronomy 32, verse 41, it says, for if I lift up my hand to heaven, like 41, it says, if I wet my glittering sword and my hand take hold on judgment, I will render vengeance to my enemies.
All right, so now you got that glittering sword being the missiles, and you also got that double-edged sword being the word of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. So ultimately, he sends that spiritual sword out there first, and what's going to come after that? Those missiles coming out of the side, coming out of the sky. Say his sword shall be bathed in heaven, right? So it's going to be judgment. But even though he's going to destroy all America, he still has his eyes on the apple of his eye, which is the elect of the children of Israel. That was all in 43. Okay.
It says, I will render vengeance to my enemies and will reward them that hate me.
All right, who are his enemies? 2/3 of our people, Esau being the so-called Caucasian race, and all these other nations. But his top enemy is Esau, and amongst them is the chief house, Amalek. Scripture say he shall make war with Amalek forever, from generation to generation. All right, go ahead.
Verse 42, it says, I will make my arrows drop with blood, and my sword shall devour flesh.
Okay.
And that with the blood of the slain and of the captives from the beginning of revenges upon the enemy.
All right, so beginning of vengeance upon the enemy. And so you got to understand 2/3 of our people have become enemies unto the Lord. Because why? They're still running after the idolatries of these other nations. They don't want to conform to Yahweh by Shem Yahushai. So what do? They try to go forth creating their own righteousness, right? Because the acceptance, they're running behind the false teachers. That's basically what our people, 2/3 of our people do. All right.
Verse 43, it says, rejoice, O ye nations, with his people, for he will avenge the blood of his servants.
All right, so now what is he doing? He said, rejoice ye nations with his people. Is that talking about the other nations rejoicing with us? No, he's pulling the elect from amongst these other nations, right? And we're the ones that, Lord willing, I'm part of that number that are going to be rejoicing in his highness, getting deliverance, no longer suffering. Our suffering is once we get exposed to this truth, because nothing else really matters from that point on. All right?
Them damn Africans, they're going to be happy to see us in power.
Come on.
All these nations that's suffering, once they said the whole creation is mourning together, waiting for the manifestation of the children of Israel.
Come on.
So that once we get in power, there's going to be a lot of nations that hate it, especially Esau, the Caucasian race. But then you got some nations that's going to love it.
Right.
And their women going to love it.
Come on. Definitely that. Yeah, it says when the righteous are in the, when When the wicked is in authority, the people mourn. Right? But when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice.
So that goes again. The Lord set the bounds according to the nation of Israel.
God,
So when the Lord wanted to curse us, he raised up the nations.
God,
So now that he want to curse the nations, he's going to raise us up.
boom, boom. That's it. And that's exactly what the meat and potatoes of this lesson, what we're going to go into. You got a piece of it?
This is the book of Tobit 13:2. For he doeth scourge, and he have mercy. He leadeth down to hell, and bringeth up again. Neither is there any that can avoid his hand. Period.
So, period. Point blank and simple. So, anything that happens upon this earth where it deals with salvation or judgment or anything else upon that matter is done by Yahweh, by Shem Yahushai, according to his will and according to what he wants to be manifested as the outcome.
All right. Just going back to what the elder said too. He lifted up these nations. He brought us down to hell so he could lift us up again, giving us that life so we could put hell on these nations. You know, all going according to his hand and his will. You know, being that his people.
Because if he didn't set those bounds, these nations would have totally destroyed the children of Israel. But yeah, and the earth. All right. So, with that being said, let's go to Deuteronomy 32:1.
32:1.
Yeah.
This is Deuteronomy 32:1.
Because the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are the children of Israel, man. The Most High Yahweh's chosen people. And we get delivered through his right hand, his son, Yahweh Shai, man. You need to turn back and repent. Go ahead.
It says, give ear, O ye heavens, and I will speak, and hear, O earth, the words of my mouth. My doctrine shall drop as the rain. My speech shall distill as the dew.
All right, so his doctrine shall drop as the rain, man. Somebody get Sirach 24 and 32.
Right. And he said the doctrine is going to drop like rain and it's going to distill as the dew. And the dew, that's that distillation that be on the top of the pot when you boil it. That's the purest water, man. The distilled water. So it's going to be like the purest form, man, from Yahweh Shai. All right.
It says,
All the way to 2.
it says, as the small rain upon the tender earth, and as the showers upon the grass.
Right. So that's how the word of the Lord is going to wash the children of Israel, the elect. All right. Bring that Sirach out real quick and somebody get Revelation 22.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 34, verse 32.
24.
Oh, 24.
Yeah.
Oh, 24 and 32, my bad. It says, I will yet make doctrine to shine as the morning, and will send forth a light afar off. I will yet pour out doctrine as prophecy, and leave it to all ages forever. Behold, that I have not labored for myself only, but for all for all them that seek wisdom.
All right, boom. And that's the wisdom of Yahweh by Shem Yahushai. That's going to pour out from the Father unto the throne of the Lamb and unto the elect.
This is Sirach 24:31. Just briefly on it. I said, I will water my best garden and will water abundantly my garden bed. I mean, down to the foundation. And lo, my brook became a river, and my river became a sea.
And that's how that increase is going to come for the children of Israel. All right, through the spirit of Yahweh by Shem Yahushai. Somebody got that revelation?
Yeah. They show you that the water ain't upon the earth comes from the heavens, man. You know, everything came from the Lord.
God, real quick, got to get that on. 22 and 1. This is Revelation chapter 22, verse 1. This is, and he showed me a pure river, water. So like it says, and he showed me a pure river of water of life, clear as crystal, proceeding out of the throne of Yahweh. All right, he said, show me let's read it again on the top about the top. It says, this is Revelation 22 and 1. It says, and he showed me a pure river of water of life. And that pure river of water of life, man. Go ahead.
Pure. That's a distillation.
That's just, yep. Wow. And it says, clear as crystal. Clear as crystal, meaning no cloudiness in it at all. All right, this is the wisdom that's going to rise up the elect of the children of Israel that came from Yahweh and proceeded through the throne of the Lamb, Yahweh Shai, and unto the elect, which are going to teach unto the wind to gather forth the elect for salvation and destruction of this place, man. Go ahead. This is clear as crystal, proceeding out of the throne of Yahweh and of the Lamb. Proceeding out of the throne of Yahweh and of the Lamb. Keep going. It says, in the midst of the street of it, and of either side of the river, was there a tree of life, which bare 12 manners of fruits, and yielded her fruit every month, and the leaves of the trees were for the healing of the nation. That's that. So the trees is for the healing of the nations, and that 12 manner of fruits represent the 12 tribes of Israel, man. And that's the tree of life that's going to bring us back together and reform us as a nation. All right. Precept. Isaiah 65, verse 8. Thus saith the Lord, as the new wine is found in the cluster, and one saith, destroy it not, for a blessing is in it. So will I do for my servant's sake, that I may not destroy them all, and I will bring forth a seed out of Jacob and out of Judah, an inheritor of my mountains, and mine elect shall inherit it, and my servant shall dwell there. All right, so now read that again. And this is back at Isaiah 65 and 8. Thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, as the new wine is found in the cluster, and one saith, destroy it not, for a blessing is in it, so will I do for my servant's sake, that I may not destroy them all. Right, that's that cluster of grapes that the Lord kept going into 2nd Ezra chapter 9, man. So that's the bounds that the Lord set on these other nations so they wouldn't be able to totally consume the children of Israel, man. So even though he's coming with wrath and destruction, he still kept close watch on the apple of his eye. You got a precept? Yeah.
Isaiah chapter 2, verse 2. And this shall come to pass in the last days. We're in the last days now. That the mountain of Yahweh's house shall be established in the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow into it. And that's how it's going to be in the kingdom. All nations are going to flow into the children of Israel. Yeah. All right. So now we're being established. We're lifting up a banner on the high mountain right now, establishing that government of Israel, the tabernacle of David, and we're going to increase all the way to the end. Yeah. Yeah. It says the mountain of Yahweh's house is going to be established amongst the mountains. So the other nations, our kingdom is going to be established over their governments. You get what I'm saying? Right. So we're establishing the government, meaning Mount Zion right now, and we're exalting the word on this high mountain, America. But our government gonna be established.
Hey, somebody get with that note, somebody get Isaiah chapter 9, verse 6.
Ours gonna be our kingdom is gonna have no bounds.
No bounds.
It's gonna be off the chain.
All right, whoever bring it out first.
This is Isaiah 9 and 6. For unto us a child is born.
For unto us a child is born. So this is going to be establishment that mountain upon other mountains. Go ahead.
Unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder.
The government is going to be on the shoulders of Yahweh. That's the high that banner that we lift upon the high mountain is the word, and the word became flesh when he walked the earth. Go ahead.
And his name shall be called Wonderful, Counselor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace.
Yep. Everlasting. And right there where it says Everlasting Father, that word Father just means authority. So Yahweh Shai, he's not the Father, but he's the authority over us.
And authority was given unto him by Yahweh.
Right. So right there, it's supposed to say the authority, everlasting authority.
All right.
Continue. Yeah. Of the increase of his government and peace, there shall be no end.
No bounds.
No bounds. No bounds.
Upon the throne of David and upon his kingdom, to order it and to establish it with judgment and with justice from henceforth even forever. The zeal of the Lord Yahweh Shai of hosts will perform this.
All right. So now what he's doing, the purification of the children of Israel, he's setting up for them to rule the earth forever. So now the wicked root that was found in the beginning from Adam, all that's being purged out. Right? So that's why we're going through these captivities and captivities, the purification of gold. Once you pull that gold out of the fire, you look at it. If it still has some more impurities on it, you put it right back in the fire. Sometimes you got to turn the heat up a little bit.
Same way you make a sword, you got to keep folding it.
You got to keep
Hold
folding
it,
until it's
hold
perfected, man. Until it's perfected. So you're witnessing the perfection of the children of Israel through what? The spirit of Yahweh by Shem Yahushai against all wickedness. Go ahead.
This is the book of Zechariah 14:8. And it shall be in that day that living water shall go out from Jerusalem. Half of them toward the former sea, and half of them toward the hinder sea. In summer and in winter should it be, and the Lord should be king over all the earth. In that day should there be one Lord, and his name one.
All right, so now in that day, that's when the Lord gathers the early and the latter rain and brings them into salvation and sets us up to rule the nations, man. In the name of Yahweh by Shem Yahushai. And his rest is going to be glorious, man. We get to partake in some of that glory too. Go ahead.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 44, and verse 1. Yet now hear, O Jacob, my servant, in Israel, whom I have chosen. Thus said the Lord that made thee, and formed thee from the womb, which will help thee. Fear not, O Jacob, my servant, and Zal Jezreel, whom I have chosen. For I will pour water upon him that is thirsty, and floods upon the dry ground. I will pour my spirit upon thy seed, and my blessing upon thy offspring.
Man, that's that spirit of the Lord coming down on earth and like the dew upon the ground, man. Purified water, purified to the T, man. The most cleanliest water you can drink, right? That's why you'll never thirst again, because there's no impurities in the water, man. Because it completes the purpose of water is to hydrate you so you don't thirst. But if you have impurities in the water, you're gonna have to keep drinking and drinking and drinking, but you're never gonna be quenched. But through the spirit, the word of Yahweh by Shem Yahushai, you are cleansed and you are quenched, man. That's why the Lord Yahushai told the woman by the well, those that drink of that water, think about it in the spiritual sense, the water of the other nations, the water of different doctrines, shall thirst again. They're gonna, all right, they're gonna continuously be looking for something to quench the thirst. There's a crying for wine in the streets. You know, our people are looking for answers, but the Lord said, whosoever drinketh of this water shall never thirst again. The answer is, the question has been answered, the answer has been found, and we can move on from forth as a nation, but only the elect are going to be able to be purified in these times.
This is the book of John 7:37 and 38. In the last day, that great day of the feast, Yahushua stood and cried, saying, if any man thirst, let him come unto me and drink. He that believeth on me, as the scripture hath said, out of his belly should flow river of living water.
That's that dew, man.
Dew come from the earth.
The dew comes from boom. Once that rain hit the ground, that mist hits it, that dew is upon the ground. And that's the manna. That's the hidden manna that we're serving as messengers of Yahweh by Shem Yahushai to the elect. Yeah, one.
That's red. This is Isaiah. Just finish this off real quick. Isaiah chapter 2, verse 3. And many people shall go and say, come ye, let us go up to the mountain of Yahweh, to the house of the God of Jacob. God of Jacob. And he will teach us his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion go forth the law and the word of Yahweh from Jerusalem.
All right, so now with that being said, that totally kills your John 3:16, because guess what? He's going to teach the other nations how to worship him, but they're going to have to learn through the children of Israel. So Israel has to be purified first in order for the nations to be able to get and receive that. When they come bring tributary unto us, then will they learn the ways of the Lord.
Right. And he talking about Yahushua, he shall judge among the nations and shall rebuke many people. George Bush. And they shall beat their plowshares into swords. I mean, they shall beat their swords into plowshares. So all these missiles, all their war technology, everything they're studying for war, they're going to turn that into farming tools. They're going to be slaves in our kingdom to rebuild and replenish and clean the earth. And it says, nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. They ain't going to be able to study. The only thing they're gonna be studying is what's written on the edge of our sword or on the bottom of our boot.
God, that's it.
That's it.
That's it. So that lets you know that the people that are in the land of Israel today are not the children of Israel, man. Because they said in the day that they return to their land, then the nation shall not study war anymore. All right, Kabash, you have one?
It's about the elect. It's Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3, and verse 7. And in the time of their visitation, they shall shine and reign to and fro like sparks among the stubble. They shall judge the nations and have dominion over the people, and their Lord shall reign forever.
Can you imagine that? That's going to be so beautiful, man, because our spirit is like, it's going to be showing on the outside, man. Our righteousness is going to show forth on the outside. We're going to have that glow like Bruce Leroy did. We're going to understand, like, imagine the journey of Bruce Leroy in The Last Dragon, where his sensei told him that he needs to find the master, not realizing he was the master. So now, understanding that today, the children of Israel go out throughout this wilderness trying to search for answers, not realizing the answers within us the whole time. So once we come to that established point to understand that we have the mind of Yahawashi, which makes us the masters of this universe, all right, under the authority of Yahawashi, then we go forth and we start to glow. That's like when Moses came off the mount, his face lit up like the firmament, man. Because what? He just got through talking to the Most High, Yahawashi, man. Through Yahawashi, because that was Yahawashi that touched down on Mount Zion. All right, some more on that.
And it's like, where is that? They said the kingdom of heaven is in you.
Yeah,
right?
Khan.
Because that's like when the Lord sent out Abraham. We're moving in that same promise, the spirit of Abraham, looking for a land, looking for the promise. But the Lord said, looking for a kingdom. But the Lord said the kingdom of heaven is like within us.
Khan. He said it's not observation. So Abraham saw it with observation. But now this kingdom that we're looking for is New Jerusalem that's been developed spiritually first. So now what are we looking for? We're looking for the spirit of the Lord within these individuals that are claiming to be of the Lord, man. So now that's what we look for. We're not traveling around. We're spiritually traveling through the wilderness looking for the new land, New Jerusalem, and it's and realizing it's within us. Somebody got that scripture?
We're realizing it that it's within us, and we're also expecting it through faith from Yahawashi.
Khan, to be manifested physically.
To bring righteousness on the earth.
Khan. Bottom line, to put righteousness on the earth, setting the bounds on these nations. All right, in righteousness. All right, go ahead.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 1, verse 3. And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water that bringeth forth his fruit in his season. His leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper.
And that's the establishment of the elect of the children of Israel, man. That's by that tree that's planted by that river of water that's clear as crystal, man. That pure water. Go ahead.
The ungodly are not so, but are like the chaff which the wind driveth away. Therefore the ungodly shall not stand in the judgment, nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous.
So they're like chaff. They're easy to catch fire, man. So they're going to be destroyed when it's on judgment comes. They're ultimately going to be destroyed in the mind first, all right? And then they're going to be physically destroyed when judgment comes.
For the Lord knoweth the way of the righteous, but the way of the ungodly shall perish.
He knows the way. He knows the ways of both. And he knows that there's destruction in the ways of the ungodly and everlasting life in the ways of the righteous, man. That's clarified by him. Any precept? All right, go ahead.
This is the book of Daniel, chapter 2 and verse 44. And in the days of these kings shall the God of heaven, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all the kingdoms, and it shall stand forever.
Real quick, why was the kingdom? Okay, if the kingdom of heaven is with us, why was it destroyed in the first place? Somebody get Hosea 4 and 6. I'm gonna have you bring that out again. So he's rebuilding the kingdom because it was destroyed. It ain't got nothing to do with that physical building that was destroyed by Babylon. Then destroyed again in 70 AD. Been desecrated by what, 3 or 4 times by the other nations, man. But that's not the physical destruction. The physical destruction has nothing to do to compare it with the destruction that we felt and endured as a nation, man. All right. How was the kingdom destroyed? Go ahead. Hosea 4 and 6.
It's the book of Hosea, chapter 4 and verse 6.
Book of Hosea, chapter 4 and verse 6. My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge. I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing that thou hast forgotten.
Okay, so now we were destroyed for the lack of knowledge, so we became priests of Baal. Our people became these individuals right here. That's what destroyed the spiritual temple by following the idolatry of these other nations. So now the Lord is spiritually rebuilding the temple. How? That's why the temple of heaven is within us. Go ahead, bring that out. Bring that out, and then you come behind it with that.
It's back in Daniel 2 and 44. And in the days of these kings shall the power of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever.
Ooh, real quick, can somebody get that? With that being said, can somebody get that? Because of unrighteous dealings and riches got by deceit, kingdom is translated from one kingdom to another. And it's
and that scripture shows that we're never gonna go off again.
Con.
We're gonna be righteous forever.
Con.
You know, he said, it shall not be left to another. See, usually, they say, we wax Jeshurun, wax fat and kick.
Con.
As soon as we get increased and wax fat means to grow as a nation, even in wealth and riches, and as a nation of people, then that's when all of a sudden our people start getting wicked. Just like in this society, they get lifted up, and then they just be on some wicked shit.
Right.
Right. The more we increase, the more they get, the more wicked they get. Not more money, more problems. More money, more wickedness.
More wickedness, man.
That's what they doing.
Because like money is the defense, and it gives you the liberty to do other things. Yeah. Being broke and being poor chastens you to be confounded in one area. So that's why the Lord brought us low, to get us a true understanding of righteousness. Because when we get lifted up with riches and wealth, we get lifted up and high-minded in the head, right? Go ahead.
Yeah, we had our own houses, we had our own kingdoms, we had the priests, you know, we had everything set up. We had the musicians, the choir, everything set up in Israel.
God.
And that's when our people started wanting to be like these other nations.
Boom.
The Lord said that's never going to happen again.
God.
It's never going to. It's going to be set up, cleansed, rebuilt, but it's not going to be left to other nations. It's going to be passed down through our bloodline.
God.
And it's not going to be left to the children. The kings that are there originally, which is going to be the founding fathers, the elect, they're going to be there forever too.
God. God.
Get to enjoy it with the grandchildren.
God, that's what I'm talking about. Go ahead, bring that out real quick, Arukah.
This is Sirach chapter 10, verse 8. I'll start with 7. Pride is hateful before the Most High.
Boom, our people got prideful, man. And who's the ultimate species of pride? Esau, man, so-called Caucasian race. Go ahead.
And man, and by both doth one commit iniquity. Because of unrighteous dealings and injuries and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another.
So now just imagine if we were set up, if the kingdom was set up right now, the Lord would have to transition into somebody else, because we'd be dealing in unrighteous dealings and riches got by deceit. And we show forth with it, because every time the Lord would lift us up, we would get high-minded and start conforming to like being like these other nations. So the Lord would have to strip us of that and bring us down low. But he's keeping us low, purifying us, so we can be cleansed thoroughly, man, through the word of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. So go back to that, what you were reading.
It's back in Daniel chapter 2 and 44. And in the days of the kings shall the power of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever.
Now that goes right back. That goes right back to Revelation chapter 6 and 2. And he went forth conquering, and he did conquer. Right? So Yahushua has been conquering from the beginning, because he's been setting up and bringing down these other nations, man.
If I may add on too, that's why on his head were many crowns, man.
God.
You know, hey, what does a conqueror do? You know, hey, throughout history, you know, with Esau, what they do, they would chop the head off of another king, man. So the righteous thing would do is get that crown of the king that you had just conquered, man. So that's why our King of Kings have many crowns, man.
And ultimately, when he shows up,
God,
when he shows up, when he destroys this place, America or Babylon, and Esau's system, the beast system, he's gonna take control over the whole earth just by doing that.
God.
And that's how he's gonna take all the crowns.
God.
God. Right. He'll take all the crowns, man.
All of them. All right. Real quick, let me finish this real quick. Go ahead.
Verse 45. And it's Daniel 2 and 45. For as much as thou sawest that the stone was cut out.
That was it. All right, go ahead on that.
It's the book of Luke, chapter 17, starting at verse 20.
So now, with that being said, the kingdom is going to continue forever and ever and ever. But where does it start? Where does it start? That's what our people want to know. Well, where does it start at? Because our people can't, the way we're impoverished right now, our people cannot see a kingdom within us. We go out into the ghettos, into the hood, and see how our people are living. We turn on the TV, turn on the radio, and see how our people are living. All right? So our people can't fathom or see us being set up as royalty because we don't have that ruling class mentality. But the elect do. Go ahead.
Luke chapter 17 and verse 20. And when he demanded of the Pharisees when the kingdom of God should come, he answered them and said, the kingdom of Yahweh cometh not with observation.
So the Pharisees and Sadducees were trying. Like, well, where's the kingdom at? When is it coming? All right, because they want to see a new temple being built. Go ahead.
Verse 21. Neither shall they say, lo here, or lo there. For behold, the kingdom of Yahweh is within you.
Boom. The kingdom of Yahweh rests within the elect, man. That's where the kingdom of the Most High is. All right, so that's why his spirit has to be dwelling in you for you to be able to foresee the kingdom and have faith in Yahweh Shai. That's a precept over here.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 37, verse 28. It says, for the Lord loveth judgment and forsaketh not his saints.
Boom. He loved judgment, but there it goes again. Even though he's bringing judgment through the earth, he's still keeping a close eye, close watch on the apple of his eye. Go ahead.
He says, and forsaketh not his saints. They are preserved forever. But the seed of the wicked shall be cut off.
Man, somebody give 2 Peter 2:9 real quick to back that up about this stuff.
I got you. Okay, go ahead. All right. I'm going to skip down to verse 32. It says, the wicked watcheth the righteous and seeketh to slay him. It says, the Lord will not leave him in his hand.
Man, these things come out. These might have to come out again after hey, read that part again.
It says the Lord will not leave him in his hand, nor condemn him when he is judged.
All right, so the Lord is setting the bounds that these wicked devils can't surpass, man. Because if it was left up to them, they would totally consume the children of Israel. Somebody bring that interject to that 2 Peter 2:9.
This is the book of 2 Peter, chapter 2, verse 9. The Lord knoweth how to deliver the godly out of temptations and to reserve the unjust unto the day of judgment to be punished.
From the beginning all the way to the end, man. So there's nothing that's going to happen to us that we're not going to be able to recover from because the Lord has set it up that way. All right?
This book of Psalm 35 and 8 all the way to 12. They should be abundantly satisfied with the fatness of thy house, and they should make them drink of the river of thy pleasure. For with thee in the fountain of life, in the light should we see light. Or continue thy loving kindness unto them that know thee, and thy righteousness to the upright in heart. Let not the foot of pride come against me, and let not the hand of the wicked remove me.
All right, so now let not the hand of the wicked remove me, because the Lord is going to set up bounds that these devils can't surpass. Speaking of which, somebody get Deuteronomy 32:3.
Deuteronomy 32, verse 3.
Yeah, no. And number 12, Psalm 35 and 12. There are the worker of iniquity fallen. They are cast down and should not be able to rise.
So they will not be able to rise. Why? Because the Lord has set boundaries on these other nations that they can't surpass. All right, you got a question?
I have a Psalm 94, verses 12 through 15, if I may.
Hold that thought. 32 and 3. Yeah.
This is Deuteronomy 32 and 3. It says, because I will publish the name of the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, ascribe ye greatness unto our God.
And that's what we do. We are subscribed to the name Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. All right? Go ahead.
He is the rock. His work is perfect, for all his ways are judgment.
All right, so all his ways are judgment and his works are perfect. All right, so the persecution that we've been going through is all the works, the righteous works of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. Interjection.
Yeah, good. This is Sirach 18 and 2. The Lord only, the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua only is righteous. And there is none other but he, who governeth the world with the palm of his hand, and all things obey his will. For he is the king of all, by his power dividing holy things among them, so lucky, dividing things holy among them from profane.
And that's that separation, man. That's that separation, sanctification through the truth. The word of the Yahweh Shem Yahushua is true. All right, back to that real quick.
All right, 32. Deuteronomy 32 and 4. It says, he is the rock. His work is perfect. For all his ways are judgment. A God of truth and without iniquity, just and right is he.
Come
He only move in judgment. That's it.
on.
Sheesh.
What verse is that?
No, verse 4.
All right, go on, keep going.
All right, verse 5. It says they have corrupted themselves. Like they have corrupted themselves. The spot is not like the spot of his children.
So we have corrupted ourselves by dilly-dallying with these other nations and their idolatry, man. So the Lord had to cleanse us and purge us from that. Go ahead.
It says they are preserved in a crooked generation.
Good. All right, so the Lord is going to preserve them all the way to the end.
Perverse.
Perverse, yes.
It says they are a perverse and crooked generation.
Right. So that's why Yahweh called them a generation of vipers, man. So that's how they were. They were snakes against the Most High, walking around like the serpent in the garden. All right, go ahead.
Right, verse 6.
Matter of fact, somebody get John 8 and 44. You wanted to recite that real quick?
If I may.
All right, yeah.
Psalm 94, verses 12 through 15. Blessed is the man whom you instruct, O Lord, and teach out of your law, that you may give him rest from the days of adversity, until the pit is dug for the wicked. For the Lord will not cast off his people, nor will he forsake his inheritance, but judgment will return to righteousness, and all the upright in heart will follow it.
Boom. And that's the elect of the children of Israel. Only the children of Israel, man. It's not according to color, but it's according to lineage and what spirit that's within you, man. You have to go back to the bloodline of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and you have to be among the elect to receive salvation at this time. Good scripture. All right, and it really fits the topic. Also, where we left off at. Yeah, John 8 and 44, real quick.
It's the book of John, chapter 8, and verse 44.
Talking about this perverse generation, man.
Ye of your father the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning.
Boom, life and death are in the power of the tongue. He was a murderer from the beginning, man. What is these devils try to promote? What did they promote with the music, man? For us to kill and sow self-hatred and destroy, demonize our women. Go ahead.
They promote anti-Semitism in the music.
Right. They promote that in the music because we already know what that means, going to who are the real Jews, the children of Israel, the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. That make up the children of Israel and the speckled bird that are scattered around these other nations, man. We don't know who we look like this day, man. All right.
It's from the top again. John 8 and 44, ye of your father the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own. He is a liar and the father of it.
All right, so now the father of lies have children that belong to the Most High, but the Most High has to preserve them, and they're going to be preserved through destruction, man.
Yeah, it's on the Caucasian race.
Right.
Esau, they the ones that established the lies. They the ones that wrote the lies in their books. They the ones that looked into our laws and tried to paint their images. They're pagan gods, man. Going back to Antiochus Epiphanes.
Right.
You know? So they're the wicked, man. They're the ones that wrote the lies, man. They put them in there. What's called iconoclasm.
God.
That's why the Lord called them the father of it, the authority over the lies.
God.
That's the power that the Lord gave into their hand.
God.
Lie, steal, kill, and destroy. That's the only blessing Esau got.
That's it.
That's it, man.
And within that, they're gonna be destroyed, man.
Right. The Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away.
Boom. Any precept? Precept. All right. Barak.
This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 19 and verse 22. For in all things, O Lord, thou didst magnify thy people and glorify them. Neither didst thou lightly regard them, but didst assist them in every time and place.
Read that one more time.
Yeah.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 19, verse 22. For in all things, O Lord, thou didst magnify thy people and glorify them.
And he's doing it through truth, man, and judgment, man. Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is only righteous. Go ahead.
Neither didst thou lightly regard them, but didst assist them in every time and place.
He's always been like a little sanctuary to us in any captivity that we went through. You gotta interject. Yeah, God. That and man, what does that give you? See, but you have to, and the only way you'll be able to understand is through the spirit. Because if you trying to use the carnal eye to get righteousness, man, you ain't gonna see nothing but wickedness around here, and you ain't gonna have no hope by your visual eye and what your eyes can see and your hands can touch. You have no hope in that. Because you see how our people are destroyed. But what happens when you close your eyes and you look at things spiritually through the eyes of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua? You see nothing but hope and destruction to the wicked, man. Go ahead. That was it. All right. Sorry, y'all.
This is John chapter 10, verse 27. My sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me.
We follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth, man. And that's our hope. That's why we watch the YouTube. That's why we do these lessons, man. That's why we encourage other brothers. That's why we encourage sisters and children that listen, man. Because the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are the Israelites of the Holy Bible, man. Father's name is Yahweh. Son's name is Yahushua. That is our hope. We're not going to get hope from Trump. We're not going to get hope from Sleepy Joe. We're not going to get hope from this system at all, man. This system was set up and designed to take away hope. For you to try to rely on yourself to try to get out of this. But like I said before, we can't find our way out of a wet paper bag, man.
You can't get hope from Obama or Kanye West or Kyrie Irving either.
Nah, you can't get hope.
You're going to get hope from the men of the Lord. And the men of the Lord are going to teach you and tell you about Yahushua. That's our true God's name, man. The Son of the Most High, Yahweh. And we're the only ones that you can get the sincere name from, Yahushua. And that's the hope that we have, man. Other than that, you're a Gentile and your mind is in this world, man. Calling yourself an African American or black. We really the Israelites of the Bible, man. Meaning God's chosen people. All right. Princes of the Most High power. Princes with power. Other than that, we have no power, man. We have no damn hope, like Tupac said. Young and hopeless.
And we need to subscribe as one of the elect, man.
Yes, and I will give, and I give unto them eternal life, and they shall never perish, neither shall any man pluck them out of my hand.
Right, because these heathens, they can't get eternal life. The scriptures say flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of heaven. And we can't take part in Esau's blessing. So how Esau ruling the world right now? So how can they take part in our blessing when it's our turn to rule? All right, and it said flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of heaven. Why? Because these bodies got to be changed. We're going to be changed in the twinkling of an eye. And from that point, we're going to live forever. So these nations don't have no part in that, to be able to live forever, be righteous forever. They're going to go through that same process of dying and coming back to this earth, which is called reincarnation, over and over again. All right, but the elect are going to live forever at some point.
Right, because in death there's no remembrance of former things, so they're going to have to be told about the glory of the Lord, Him coming down and delivering the elect at that time. They're going to have to be told that as babes.
You're talking about 2/3.
2/3, yeah.
I'm talking about Esau.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Esau, you straight up.
You got YouTube, man? You got access to YouTube? You on the phone? Oh yeah, do your thing, man.
All right. Rest. All right.
Go ahead. And this is just expound on the point the bishop made pertaining to you can't look at this thing or dwell in this thing or think you're gonna get salvation in the flesh or dealing in the flesh. You got to be dwelling in the spirit. And this is Ecclesiastes chapter 2 and verse 15. Then said I in my heart, as it happened to the fool, so it happened even to me. And why was I then more wise? Then I said in my heart that this also is vanity. That's the way you go look at it. You go look at this is going to be for non-profit, right? Because you're not going to see it spiritually. You know, and this is Solomon, somebody who had everything in the spirit and in the flesh. You know, so he was able to weigh it in the balance and see that the wicked, all right, and the fool and the wise man both had the same day, but we only have the same day at this moment, man, until the Lord comes.
And think about it. So how through deception Well, through deception, 2/3 of our people are gonna line up for the MOTB. All right. It's through deception they're gonna feel like they have no hope. Because think about it, they're gonna try to use things like, "Oh, we'll take your children away from you." Oh, that's it. Then through deception, all right, they're gonna take the sea hill. That right there. All right, but through faith, the elect are gonna say none of that matters. They're gonna say no to that. All right, so now put your mind into this scenario. They're gonna try to use anything physical to come against you. But one thing they cannot do is, what if Esau came to you? If you don't take this mark, we're gonna take your spirit away from you. You know that's a lie. You know that's a lie. That's impossible. But they're gonna say things like this: if you don't take this, or if you don't do this, you're not gonna be able to eat. Okay, I've been hungry before, or we're gonna take your children. I'll get new ones in the kingdom. That's the mindset we have to think. Because anything we lose on this side, the Lord's going to give us 100-fold in the kingdom. Or we might not even lose anything. The Lord might magnify himself so much, he's going to protect everything, our whole family. Because he said, even though, so your children don't see hell. So there's nothing that they can take from you that means anything. But that spirit can't be taken from you because it was given. It's not even yours to take. It belongs to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. I heard a bunch of precepts from go ahead.
This is Psalm 83. Let's get right to the point. Verse 2. For lo, thy enemy make atonement, and they that hate thee have lifted up their head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones.
Boom. And who did that word crafty counsel? And man, who was one of the devils that did that? Antiochus. It said through his craft he shall prosper, man. So what he used to open up our books and try to learn about our laws just to use them against us, and try to force 2/3 of our people, like they did back then, to conform their own form of righteousness according to their ways, man. So had our people like straddling the fence. Some of them wouldn't even straddling the fence. They totally hopped the fence and called themselves the Grecian or Roman.
And if I may add on, if you go into that precept, you go into the word name, it means to take away their God too, also, man. So just like the elder was speaking on, Esau's doing on a small scale what the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is going to show them how to do it when you return, man. Hey, he's gonna take out the head honcho. All right, that way they can follow suit, man. You take out the boss, you don't got to worry about the service, man. Why? Because you're taking out the power, man. You know, so that's why 2/3 of our people was going after Esau's ways, man. You know,
that's why if you ever play a video game, you never start off the first level against the boss. You got to build your way up to that. So when the Lord takes the head away, all right, the whole body gonna crumble, but he's gonna take it away at the feet of him.
Example on that, the story of what's her name? Hey, old girl.
What it had to do
with she? I forgot. It slipped my mind. No, not Esther.
It'll come back. It'll come back. Yeah, please. Go ahead.
All right, this is the book of Sirach, chapter 2, verse 10. Look at the generations of old and see, did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded?
It takes that trust. You have to trust in the Lord. You have to trust in something you haven't physically seen before.
Or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him?
All right. But these devils try to get you not to believe in that, man.
God. For the Lord is full of compassion and mercy, long suffering, and very pitiful, and forgiving sins, and saveth in time of affliction, man.
Saveth in time of affliction. So we're just waiting for that salvation. Go ahead.
Right, you want to see the silver line in a minute. This is 2 Maccabees 7:1. It came to pass also that 7 brethren with their mother were taken.
That's a beautiful story right here. This shows the abundance of faith, and it shows what the drastic measure that Esau's willing to go through to take away that faith from us, man, or try to.
Right, Wisdom of Solomon chapter 2, somebody? And it came to pass also that 7 brethren with their mother were taken and compelled by the king against the law to taste swine's flesh, and were tormented with scourges and whips. That's what you were just talking about. Put pressure. Pressing the fear button. That's what they're doing.
And what did your boy Law Noah say? They can press the fear button anytime they want to.
Right.
And get the people to move, man.
Right. And the king is talking about here is Antiochus Epiphanes. And now it says, but one of them spake first, saying this, what wouldest thou ask or learn of us? We are ready to die, rather than to transgress the laws of our fathers. You see that? Then the king, being in a rage, commanded pans and cauldrons to be made hot. All right.
Why was he in a rage?
He got
he pissed off. He pissed off like, oh, you're gonna resist my will? No, we're gonna go into the will of Yahweh by Shem Yahushua.
Right.
Because he pressed that fear button and we didn't move in fear, man.
Right. Then the king, being in a rage, commanded pans and cauldrons to be made hot, which forthwith being heated, he commanded to cut out the tongue of him that spake first, and to cut off the uttermost parts of his body. The rest of his brethren and his mother looked on. That's the same thing they did to us in slavery. They cut off our body parts. They would maim us and do buck breaking and rape the men in front of the family to put fear in them. See that? Look what they're doing to Kanye West right now. That's another form of political buck breaking. All right. I'm gonna skip down real quick, get to the point. Verse 6. This goes with Deuteronomy 32 and 36. The Lord Yahweh looketh upon us, and in truth have comfort in us. As Moses, the ones that have faith. He had comfort in those that have faith, man. He enjoys that. Moses in his song, that was just talking about earlier, which witnesses to their faces declared, saying, and he shall be comforted in his servant even to today. The Lord has comfort in us, man. He's up there. That's why I say there's joy in the presence of the holy angels when one man repented, right? Let's skip over to verse 13 and get to the point.
Oh, may you read verse 10?
Verse 10?
All
right, yeah, I'll go to 12. Yeah, 10?
Gone.
And after him was the third made a mocking stock. And when he was required, he put out his tongue. Funny, man. I like that. that was like Yahushua, man. Yahushua did that. Yeah. The scripture said he put his cheek to the smiters. When they went to smite, he put his back to the smiters. When they went to hit his back, he turned his back to him and said, go ahead. When they went to hit his face, he said, go ahead. All right? So now, why? Because he was willing to go through the straits. All right? And us, we're willing to go through the affliction. It says he put out his tongue, and that right soon, he did it quick, holding forth his hands manfully. So he put his hands out there too, like, yo, cut him off. It said courageously, these I had from heaven. I got these body parts from the Most High, man.
And I got some more up there waiting on me.
Right. And for his laws, I despise them.
Right? He despises the flesh for righteousness, man.
Right. And from him, I hope to receive them again.
Verse 23.
Let's focus on that. I don't want to lose that sight. Go ahead. He says, and from him, I hope to receive them again, man. Think about that. They knew about reincarnation. What fear is there in the Lord, man? You got the Lord before us. Who can be against us, man? And so much that the king and they that were with him marveled at the young man's courage. For that he nothing regarded the pains, man. So you got to think about it. When all hell breaks loose and they come to test us with the MOTB, or they come to put you in concentration camps, this is the mindset you got to be in, knowing that the Lord can replace anything that we lose.
Just like Job.
Just like Job.
So Job had what?
Yeah,
7 kids and whatnot.
Yep.
You know, cattle and things like that. You know, so everything was taken away from him. But in the latter end, when he stayed faithful to Yahweh Shem Yahushua, he was gained double. You know what I'm saying?
And not only that, Yahushua came and told his partners that you're the one wicked, and my servant Job is righteous. And what also did Job say? He said, though my body see the grave, I shall see my creator with these eyes.
But then you get to the Greeks. Then you get to the Greeks, the Hellenization.
Yeah.
That's when the Greeks started pushing that no spirit, that scientific view, saying that you don't have a soul, you just have a body. You know, pushing that, what's his name? Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Oh, just calories or some shit.
Yeah, you just calories and you go to the earth, you know, you vanish as a thin air. But what did the Lord say? He said only a foolish people think that way. That's in Wisdom of Solomon, I think, chapter 2. I think it is. You know? So, yes, yeah. Then you got, let me finish, you got an interjection?
Just getting definition.
Yeah, let me finish it real quick. Now, when this man was dead, also they tormented and mangled the fourth in like manner. So when he was ready to die, he said thus, it is good being put to death by men, to look for hope from Yahweh to be raised up again by him. As for thee, Esau, basically talking to Esau, he said, thou shalt have no resurrection to life.
The rich man and Lazarus. What he said, come give me a little bit, put it on the tip of my tongue. Nah.
Right, there you go, vocabby. All right. After they brought the fifth also and mangled him, they looked unto the king and said, thou hast power over men, thou art corruptible. Thou doest what thou wilt. We heard that before. Do as thou wilt.
Yeah. And that's the spirit that our people are 2/3 of our people are trying to follow.
Yeah, after Esau. Yeah. Esau created that. He's the author of that. Do as thou wilt. Ain't we reading that now, right?
Right.
Yet think not that our nation is forsaken of Yahweh. See, that's what Paul's trying to tell them. Don't think that we forsaken. Don't think that he just added you in. That he forsook Israel. Now he adding in the other nations. That's not true. But abide a while, just stay on the earth, stay in your power a little while longer. And behold his great power, how he will torment thee and thy seed. After him also, so let's get down to the point the brother was talking about, verse 23. But verse 21. Yea, she exhorted every one of them in her own language. So we got our own language, which is the Hebrew, the ancient Paleo-Hebrew. Lashon Kodash, not in the Greek's language. Filled with courageous spirits and stirring up her womanish thoughts, talking about their mother. With a manly stomach, she said unto them, I cannot tell how you came into my womb. Talking about, that don't mean she didn't understand the process of creation. That just meant saying, hey, it's a miracle that the Lord can create a baby in the womb. You know what I mean? You got the Mississippi Demonite, Mississippi Maniac said this scripture was talking about she didn't understand the process of life. That's not what it meant. No. She was just saying, it was like, she's talking to a child, like, you're a miracle.
Right, right, to have that much faith. And I birthed a child that had that much faith.
Put you know? I cannot tell how you came into my womb, for I neither gave you breath nor life, neither was it I that formed the members of every one of you. So
because she's giving glory to the Most High.
Yeah. She knew it.
Right.
Yeah, she knew about the members and all that. But doubtless, that's the point. But doubtless the creator of the world, who formed the generation of man and found out the beginning of all things, will also of his own mercy give you breath and life again. As you now regard not your own selves for his law's sake. And that's what you gotta be willing to do. Regard not your own life. He said, those that lose their life for his sake shall find it, man. So we gotta disregard this life and be willing to cast it away when that time comes, if they threaten you with life or death. And the Lord shall give you a crown of life, man. Be faithful unto death. And he'll give you a crown of life. And a lot of people say, I ain't gonna do this. I ain't taking that. They ain't trying to stick nothing in me. On my hand, my forehead, whatever. But the Lord say, you know, man's goings are of the Lord. And you got to pray for the Lord to lead you not into temptation. But he's going to lead them into the slaughterhouse.
If I may add on, the elder made a valid point in this video, man. And you can't say, "Oh, I'm not going to take this." You got to have the spirit of the Lord on you in order to be able to do anything, man. Hey, the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai direct the steps, man. Shit, hey, like Scripture say, a man, what roughly paraphrase, what may be seen right into a man, shit, gonna lead you into your own demise, man. You know, roughly paraphrasing, man.
This is the book of Matthew 10:28. And fear not them which kill the body, or are not able to kill the soul, but rather fear him which is able to destroy both soul and body in hell.
So with that being said, we give reverence and homage to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. That's what we fear. We don't fear man, because the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are the children of Israel. And that's the only way we can fight back towards the system, is fight for our power, fight for our rights back. What? Our rights in Jerusalem, our rights, our commonwealth, because we've been taken away from our commonwealth of Israel. How? By following behind the idolatries of these other nations.
This is book of Job 34:9 all the way to 11. For he had said, if a profited a man nothing, that he should delight himself with Jehovah. Therefore hearken unto me, ye men of understanding. Far be it from Jehovah that he should do wickedness from the Almighty, that he should commit iniquity. For the work of a man should he render unto him, and cause every man to find according to his way.
All right, so whatever you're putting out here on the earth, you're putting out iniquity, that's what you're gonna reap. If you're putting out righteousness, that's what you're gonna reap. If you're striving the truth unto death, the Lord is gonna fight for you, man. And that's a reward that you reap for standing tall for his word and not bowing down to this system. Go ahead.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 33, in verse 1. There shall no evil happen unto him that feareth the Lord, but in temptation, even again, he will deliver him.
Man, come on, man. Kind of not amazing things, them temptation that you go through. All right, because the trying of our patience work is faith, man. So the more understanding, the more temptation or trials that we go through, the more purging that the Lord is doing, and the more faith that He's building within us, man. So we don't get afraid. We're not afraid of the shit that goes on. Hey, sometimes we get fleshly and let thoughts enter our mind, but the Lord, the Spirit of the Lord, is gonna push them right back out. Some more. All right, now we'll go ahead.
This is Hebrews 10:34. But ye had compassion of me in my bonds, and took joyfully the spoiling of your goods, knowing in yourselves that ye have in heaven a better and enduring substance.
Better than enduring substance. So what? You take me off this earth? You gonna send me right to your Father? Really? That's what you're gonna do? Whoa! What punishment is that? Because what did Paul say? To die is gain. Paul wanted to be with the Lord, but Paul also wanted to be on this earth to do this work, to be an example of righteousness, man. Because he wanted to see Israel make it, just like the elect want to see Israel make it. We don't like seeing our people in the ghettos acting like buffoons, acting like you go to the ghettos. You might as well go to the Jacksonville Zoo. Because that's what you see in a bunch of brute beasts acting like animals. Like who? Esau, man. Right. Right. So, go ahead.
And what he say? He had better substance in heaven too. That go back to store up your treasures in heaven, man. You know, hey, well, rust and moth doth not corrupt, man. You know, so hey, you're better off, hey, with the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, man. Just like you say, shit, you gonna send me away, send me to be with my Creator. Shit, hey, okay.
He stashed his money on the earth. Look what happened to his money. They snatched it. They can go right into his bank accounts or whatever they want to do, and corrupt his money. Who was that? JP Morgan he was with, and they said he can't hold his money there no more. It's like he's like, yo, anything he say, they can't cancel my contract. I can say what I want. They cancel the contract.
Cancel the contract.
Now he's like, they can't put me in jail. They gonna put his ass in jail.
Yeah.
Because
he went to the bank and they kicked him out of the bank.
Yeah.
They seized his ass and they kicked his ass right out of the bank. Escorted him out the bank. They almost took his ass to jail then.
Yeah. This is the book of Luke 12:4. And I say unto you, my friends, be not afraid of them that kill the body. And after that, have no more that they can do.
No more that they can do. Why? Because the Lord has written their bounds in place. But they cannot pass it. But they can't follow you into the spirit realm and still kick your ass. You know, they ain't gonna follow you in the spirit realm and still hit you in the back with the whip.
They say even a wicked cease from troubling.
They cease from troubling.
But I will forewarn you whom ye shall fear. Fear him which after he have killed have power to cast into hell. Yea, I say unto you, fear him.
Right, you ain't talking about hell under the ground. You're talking about to cast your black ass in the hell right here on the earth.
Right. Right. To where the Yahweh Shai got the keys to hell and death. So in actuality, like what Paul was saying, he'd rather be with the Lord, you know. But then again, he'd rather be down here too, because what does it say? On earth as it is in heaven. So we want to see righteousness that we see in the heavens here on earth, man. Because what do we got to do? We got to fight for that, man. So this is our fight. This is our journey. And this is our role as the children of Israel, what we're going into, which is explained in Deuteronomy 32. Yes, go ahead, Deuteronomy 30. Is some more precept? Precept.
32.
You got one? Go ahead.
This is Matthew chapter 5, verse 10. Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you and say all manners of evil against you falsely for my name's sake. Rejoice and be exceedingly glad, for great is your reward in heaven.
And that's given to unto us by Yahweh by Shem Yahushai. And can nobody take that from us? No matter what they try to put in our face, because the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, they're the Israelites of the Holy Bible, the Most High's apple of his eye, the Most High Yahweh's chosen people. And the son's name is Yahushai, man. We have hope, even though this system tries to take every little ounce of hope that we thought we had established. All right, but the system tries to choke it out of us. But the true hopes come from Yahweh by Shem Yahushai.
The Book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3, verse 9.
Yeah, you can read verse 1 real quick.
I'll start at verse 1. It says, but the souls of the righteous are in the hand of Yahweh, and there shall no torment touch them.
Go a little bit further.
It says, in the sight of the unwise, they seem to die.
So in the sight of the unwise, it seems like those 7 children seem to die along with their mother. Right? Go ahead.
It says, in their departure is taken for misery.
Their departure is taken for misery. But guess what? The Most High made a memorial out of them because we're talking about them to this day, man. Go ahead. And that happened right around 168 BC. Go ahead. Go ahead.
And they're going from us to utter destruction, but they are in peace.
They're in peace, man. They're in peace in the heavens, in the spiritual one with Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. You want to jump down to verse 9?
Verse 9, it says, they that put their trust in him shall understand the truth. And such as be faithful in love shall abide with him.
And when you understand the truth, everything that comes out of this sister's mouth, man, you lying. You lying like a mother, like for real. Oh, America's gonna abide forever. You lying. There shall not no destruction come to this place. You definitely lying. We shall rule forever. Now you know you lying.
God, that's what they great again. God, man, because that's the same thing they said with Antiochus and these kings back then. They said live forever, live forever. Look at them, man. They dead in the ground, man. They back here on this earth today, you know, living out that judgment. So no kingdoms forever, man. So,
and the Lord left that spirit lingering around for them to have their lot in these times.
They just said that to that dude. What's that? The guy that looked like the old guy from The Simpsons.
Rothschild?
Yeah, him and the other one, the one that just became king.
Charles?
King Charles.
Yeah.
They said that to him at the coronation. They say, "Oh, King live forever. King live forever." Oh, like, damn, that's the shit they say back in the ancient times. King
that spirit's still lingering around here, and it's coming into their asses, so the Lord they're being marked when the Lord shows up to bring judgment on this earth.
Why would you say that to a 70-year-old?
It's their spirituality, man. That's their thought belief, man. What they're really saying is that mindset and ideology live forever, because guess what? They pass it on from generation to generation according to their bloodline. So they want that to live forever through their seed.
It's funny you say that. Oh, see, it's funny you say that. The mindset and the ideology, because that's what their new NWO shit that they want to do, where they can get the basically the mind and put that shit in the computer chip and move it forward. It's like
they're carrying on that mindset from the Tower of Babel as well. The New World Order, and that's what Antiochus Epiphanes wanted. They wanted to build a one world order under paganism.
Under paganism, and it started with the Greeks. The Hellenization started with the Greeks, but it really got pushed. It really got pushed through the Diadochi and Antiochus Epiphanes. He was that wicked root that really tried to establish the Hellenization of our people, man. He's the one that was really driving it, trying to drive that shit home.
Go ahead. The book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 17 and verse 1. For great are thy judgments and cannot be expressed. Therefore, unnurtured souls have erred. For when the unrighteous man thought to oppress the holy nation, they being shut up in their houses, the prisoners of darkness, and fettered with the bonds of a long night, lays their exile from the eternal providence. So basically, what it's speaking on here was when our people was leaving Egypt, basically. But that same spirit, came into Esau when they thought to oppress the holy nation, ultimately. So now, what it says, lay down exile from the eternal providence. Providence meaning the universal rulership of Yahweh. And they're not going to take part. They're not going to have root in our blessing, basically. It's going to be given to the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and the speckled bird. The Israelites that were scattered across the four corners of the earth that looked like the heathens, or whatever the case may be.
All right.
This is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 7. For the mystery of iniquity doeth already work. Only he who now will let until he be taken out of the way. And then shall that wicked man be revealed, whom Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming.
Right, and that revelation is coming through the men of the Lord. But 2/3 of our people, they want to act like it's a scary movie. Go, and close their eyes. They don't want to see it, man. They don't want to see it. Go ahead.
Our people respond to this truth like, let's say, if it's a dark room and you come and bust the light on and it bright. That's how they respond to it. They cover their face and they turn their ears and they don't want to hear this truth.
And what is that indication of? Somebody that wants to go back to sleep, but the light's not allowing them to go to sleep.
Then they got their treasure stored on earth. You basically telling them that the Lord coming to take their wicked pies away, and they don't want that. They want to roll around in the mud with Esau.
Right. They got that Scrooge McDuck syndrome. They want to go into a boat and swim through a bunch of gold. That's what 2/3 of our people want to do. That's that same mindset of Esau, man. Like the brother Canuck was saying, how people want to gain here and be like Scrooge McDuck and jump into a big old vault of gold coins and swim around. Well, they find out that it's not how they see it on TV. And I'm referencing a Family Guy episode when Peter Griffin tried to do the same thing, and he jumped in a whole big old vault full of nothing but gold coins, and when he hit, he smacked and broke himself up to pieces. And that's just, our people figuring out that when they want to swim in this gold and all that, they smack and they break themselves to pieces and they destroy themselves trying to get these riches, trying to be comfortable here.
I thought y'all this is Romans 8:1. There is therefore no condemnation to them which are in Yahweh Shai Mashiach, who walk not after the flesh, but after the spirit.
But if you walk after the flesh, there's total condemnation to, because the flesh is going to destroy you, man. Go ahead.
And just even so, all right, thinking fleshly and carnally, man, you're just spiritually discerned. All right,
no, you don't have spiritual discernment.
Yeah, you don't have spiritual discernment. You just like the brothers was breaking down how they was trying to cut off Yahweh Shai's arm. Basically crucify his body. He was willing to give that up. All right, that's because it's a separation for those who dwell in the spirit and those who dwell in the flesh. It's a mindset.
And Yahweh Shai knew that his body wasn't going to see hell, and he knew that the devils only had a certain bound that they could go to because it was set by Yahweh. All right, everything is set up by Yahweh. All right, according to the children of Israel. You got a precept? Go ahead. We'll get back to the lesson in a second.
This is something that the bishop was talking about earlier. Exodus chapter 24, verse 29. And it came to pass when Moses came down from Mount Sinai, and the two tables of the testimony in Moses' hand, and he came down from the mount, that Moses was not the skin, that the skin of his face shone while he talked with them. When Aaron and all the children of Israel saw Moses, behold, the skin of his face shone, and they were afraid to come nigh to him. And Moses called unto them, and Aaron and all the rulers of the congregation returned unto him, and Moses talked with them. And afterward, all the children of Israel came nigh and gave them in commandment and all that the Lord had spoken with him in Mount Sinai. And later on in the chapter, it says that Aaron told Moses to cover up his face because he was scaring all the children of Israel. That's going to what's also what the bishop said earlier. When people see light and they choose darkness, they shun away from it. If you see somebody walking upon the face of the earth and their face is shining, like truly from their skin, that means that person has something righteous about them. But rather than running to him and heed unto his words, they'll rather shy away from him and tell him to cover up his face.
And 2/3 of our people, the face of the Lord is not going to shine upon them, man. They're not going to be able to seek Yahweh. Go ahead, you got an interjection?
This is Romans 8:6. For to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace. God, man, just going back to, our people not having that spiritual mind. If they were to have that spiritual mind and understand that that Aaron was coming in the spirit of the Lord, instead of them thinking so carnally and thinking, it's so much judgment and so bad or wicked. That's the word, yeah, wicked. They're put away the spiritual. You kind of keep that carnal to them.
Right. Because the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are the Israelites of the Holy Bible. You have any questions?
Slavery for anyone is, I don't know what it is you guys stand for, obviously.
Stand for the Lord, and you don't. You keep going. American about to be destroyed. You're going to be destroyed.
That's the mindset of our people, right there. Yeah. She don't understand. First of all, I would have asked, hey, what do you stand for? She clearly said, I don't know what you stand for. Now, how she would have been able to be open-minded and get a clear explanation, right? She probably would have felt the same way, but she was standoffish from the beginning.
Well, the media, that's a robot.
Right.
That's a media robot. The media taught her that.
Right.
That's the theme that they're pushing right now. Nobody should be enslaved.
Right. We are the world.
What's the dude that talks sports?
Stephen A. Smith.
And the other one.
Sharp
saying the same thing. He mad at Kanye for that.
What did Shaq say? I can say ni hao, assalamu alaikum, shalom.
Yeah, LeBron James. I'm not with none of that. Yeah, that's the same spirit. I'm like, if you ain't with it, forget it. Yeah, that's cool. You ain't got to say your piece and then, try to throw shit on us and then walk off. That's just in our face and call it water.
Being that carnally
but hey,
minded, man.
She looked at that and got the spies and looked at that and just blinked her eye and kept walking.
Yeah, she's mad because she seen Esau change.
Right.
I have a preset on top of that.
If I may interject on that. I can see where it says slavery. However, I claim my DNA. The David I am is my David. Now, if I do not have the authority of God in my voice when I speak, then I'm going to fall under Article 1, Section 8, Clause 17 of the Constitution, which they will treat me as a vessel of goods and services. So unless I know how to overstand for myself and claim who I am, then that is exactly what the synagogue of Satan and those ball worshippers are going to treat me as. Article 1, Section 8, Clause 17. And I am not a vessel. I am a messenger.
Right.
Cool. Yeah. As well, we are messing.
Now the same one that put us. See, she didn't understand.
Yeah.
She didn't understand that the ones that put us in slavery, they got to go into slavery according to the Most High. That's what that says right there. See, we didn't. They think we drew the picture. You know what I'm saying? The picture is not going to say what we're going to say. Right. Somebody drew that and being exaggerated. You know what I mean? Trying to be funny. Right. But we know according to scriptures that the Lord said, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. And this is the faith. This is the faith and the patience of the saints, not the worldly. See, we want righteousness on the earth, and we want these devils paid back for what they did to our people. She ain't see the other one.
She looked over this one.
She looked over that one.
Her eyes start
See,
working.
look, this one, that one didn't happen yet. This
Right.
one did. Like, what the hell, man? You get mad at something that ain't even happened yet.
Right. But again, you mentioned the media.
Yeah,
And that's the propaganda that they portray. Even today in criminal court is being played out on the media. So where they're allowing the people in the public eye to say, yeah, this person did it off of propaganda. Like the the R. Kellys of the world and so on and so forth.
Yeah, that's she part of that cancel culture.
They say in 2013, the Supreme Court said that DNA from naturally in the wild cannot be patented. However, with these injections that they're doing, they contain self-assembling ionized small lipid nanoparticles capable of reverse transcription using combination DNA. And once your DNA has been reverse transcribed, you're patented.
Yeah. I like how you word it. Hey, look, we can't say certain terms on the camera. Nah, but I like how you worded it. You went around it. You didn't really say it.
I'm grateful for you guys for sharing the blessed word.
Yeah, man.
I mean, if we can come together with the common cause of the Alpha and the Omega, then who would be against us?
Yeah, you see, the only thing with that is you don't have to look like us. But you know what I mean? Your bloodline would have to go back to one of these people.
I believe I am the lion of the tribe of Judah.
So-called Negro?
I believe that I've been called by God and I am in spirit.
No, I'm talking about bloodline. Like on your dad's side.
I'm a bastard.
Fair enough. Oh, you don't know what your dad is?
My father, his last name is Wolf.
Wolf?
On my biological side, but
Yeah.
I never really knew him.
Yeah.
On my mother's side is Wisedell.
Wow.
Wise and then Dell.
Yeah, no,
God has
on the
given
dad's
me
side.
the vision of rooting out evil spirits.
Yeah.
And even in this year, I have cleaned the area of
Oh
evil
shit.
spirits.
Hey, check it out real quick. But the men, when we go through the bloodline, right? And if your bloodline goes back to one of these people, it don't matter what you look like.
Sure.
If your bloodline go back to one of these people, then you're most likely an Israelite. Now, are all these people going to be saved from the jump? No. Only 1/3, 144,000, and 1/3 going to be delivered.
So,
See that?
sad deception.
So 2/3 of our people are going to perish out of these nations, and also the heathen nation, the Caucasian race, they call it Caucasian, which are Edomites. And even here, this is better.
My daughter calls them super white.
No, they're not white. They're red.
I agree.
Now, if you're an Israelite, then you'll be saved. It's not about color.
I mean, if it wasn't for Israel, if it wasn't for our Constitution, and if it wasn't for what we believe in, we would not be here right now. We would be like every other. Our Constitution for the United States of America
That's
is
Indian
the
law.
only Constitution that protects the people from the government. Every other nation, it protects the government from the people.
Yeah. Now, if we were to be united under God, right? You would have to believe that His name is Yahweh. You would have to believe that His Son's name is Yahushua. You would have to believe, according to the scriptures, that He's dark skinned like us. According to the Bible, not like I don't care what He looks like. He's invisible.
You know, he had to have been Israeli or some type of that area. I
See?
don't know. I wasn't there. However,
See that?
if
No,
Mary
no.
wasn't the virgin of
No.
my conception,
She wasn't a virgin.
then the spirit would not be interpreted. However, our
Whoa, what the
DNA
hell
is an
happened?
electromagnetic.
I got a question real quick. So you said if Mary had not been a virgin upon conception, the Lord wouldn't have been able to receive that spirit?
Well, what it is our DNA is an electromagnetic fractal antenna.
We're going back to the birth of Yahushua.
Jesus is, I mean, I don't know what
the one you ignorantly called
Okay,
Jesus.
fair enough.
But I believe in Hebrew as the
Let me cut you off. I was trying to cut him off. Look at Revelation 1:13. We ain't got to be there. We can be
I mean,
right
you're
here.
teaching me and helping me.
Right.
I appreciate that.
Right. But you just went into something that we don't believe in. So you're saying,
well, please accept my amendment.
okay, no. So that's why I question
Stand on what you believe.
Revelation 1:13, though.
Okay, this is Revelation chapter 1.
Because once you say what you believe and we say what we believe, it becomes a conversation.
It's
That's
a matter of the spirit, not a matter of
Goodness, bro, man. I mean, come on, man. You're going to correct me every damn time. Go ahead, bro.
Revelation chapter 1, verse 13. This is an in the midst. This is an in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one light unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot.
Right. We know. We don't think. We don't imagine. We ain't saying we wasn't there. We know according to the spirit of truth that the Lord had on the garment down to the foot. Go ahead. You don't need to be there. Go ahead, brother. He said, blessed are those that read. He didn't say blessed are those that go back in time. Go ahead, brother.
It says, and in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot, and girded about the paps with a golden girdle.
Right, he had a golden girdle on for war. Some were wearing above around their chest as a prince. All right, or you'll wear it a little lower or higher. Have it go. So some the priestly ones, the princes, they were wearing up here, and to go to war, they would guard their organs. All right, with whatever it just said. What was it, girdle?
Yeah, golden girdle. Go ahead. And it says, his head and his hairs were white like wool.
So the top of his head and the facial hairs were white and woolly. But what did they put up in church? The Israeli, Esau. They put this picture up. The other white meat, right? There you go. They put that up. Hellboy. There, brother.
It says, his head and his hairs were white like wool,
right?
As white as snow.
Snowy, go ahead.
And his eyes were as a flame of fire. That's dealing with his righteous anger, man. Yep. At the end of the day. So now, with that being said, we know what he looks like, right? He looked like one of us. Okay, God. Verse 15. It says, and his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace.
What color is that? If the color of your feet, if I can see your feet, and your feet look like fine brass, and they were burned in the furnace, what color would that be?
A little darker than the brass because of the burn on it. It would have a texture, a tone of a little darker, I would think.
Well, what's it darker than what?
Darker than the shiny brass. Yeah, of course. Like the header on a engine. If you got.
What color is that?
I mean, you're asking me to.
What color is brass?
Gold, some type of gold or darker gold.
I thought gold was gold.
Please forgive me.
What color is brass?
I mean no disrespect.
What color is a penny?
Yeah, copper.
What color is copper? What color is copper?
What family is that color in? What is the primary color that aligns with that? It's a derivative of what?
Please help me.
Brown.
Brown.
Yeah,
all right, he probably didn't know. It's just brown.
I'm sincere.
All right.
I'm grateful for you guys.
Right.
And I'm humble.
Right. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
So we just trying to show you that the Lord color did matter. It does matter even to this day. It matters to these people, to his people. The ones they call them black, Hispanic, all these different terminologies, bywords and proverbs. It matters to us, but then every time we speak to another race, it don't matter to them. You feel me?
Well, you matter to me.
See?
See that? Because I am the David that I am. I'm not another David. I'm not whoever else you met before.
Oh, you King David? You King David?
I believe I am anointed.
What?
I have.
There's a bunch of y'all in there.
If you don't believe me, I've moved the stone.
Yeah.
I've undone the curse in Cheyenne. I've undone the curse in Cherokee. I believe I might have either the mired clay of Adam in my car, or it is. I have been there. I did this in September. I have traveled 10,000 miles on $300. I am homeless right now, but I am not doing without. I don't have any money, but I am serving the Lord, my Savior, and He has been providing for me, and He speaks to me. And all in these, the Baal worshipers, I have been disassembling from Columbus, Georgia, all the way down to here, to Montana, to South Carolina, to North Carolina. All in the last 2 months, I have been disassembling satanic ritual sites.
Really quick. The Lord your Savior, what is his son's name? What is his name and what is his son's name?
Your interpretation may be different. When it comes down to I believe in Hebrew. If I don't know something, I'm going to go to the Hebrew root. Right. Because I don't believe education is fundamental. If it's fundamental, I'm not learning anything.
So in Hebrew,
learning is elemental, and I must learn the elements in order to understand how man cracks the element to make it his own.
In Hebrew, what is the father's name and what is the son's name? If thou canst tell.
Gosh, what do they say? I'm not a scholar. I'm
So how can you cast out demons in his name if you know not his name?
He guides me.
How?
Well, it could be the birds. It could be a fly.
Just to help you too, learning is not elemental, it's spiritual.
True. Well, elements have spirits. The land has anything with DNA has a spirit.
You gotta look beyond the elements to get the spirit. So learning.
I mean, the shofar, which is from Israel, I've been to Israel many times, is in the shape of our DNA. When the Baal worshippers put the spirits on the land, they're not using the Alpha and the Omega. They're using their own man-made thought of the spirits. The shofar disrupts those spirits out of the land.
No, you gotta give it proper sound. You might be playing out too.
Well, A for effort. I have gained feathers of the nations that I have unified.
Okay.
And I'm grateful for the opportunity to be a messenger. And I don't lie. I'm grateful. Thank you, guys.
No, you got. Thank you for sharing your piece.
I have an injection.
You know, we disagree with some of the things you said.
And maybe you can help me understand.
That's what we're trying to do. So when we said we're not attacking you.
No, I don't believe you're
You know
attacking.
what I'm saying?
I don't believe you're
All right,
attacking.
just let you know. So you know, he ain't attacking.
And you guys have opened up towards me to allow me to share as well.
That's right.
I'm humbly grateful. So maybe we can unify on something that we can believe
You
in.
get unified by you giving me that shofar.
Gifting it to you.
It's a ram's horn.
Oh, man.
It's from Israel.
Check it out. No, I want to have it. I might.
I mean, it's very May I blast my shofar for a blessing for us?
We gotta get back to the teeth. I don't want to mess up
I'm
the teeth.
interrupting. I don't want to be
You don't have
disruptive.
to sell there. You don't have to.
I don't want to sell it.
All right, let's get back to let's
I'm
get
gonna
on.
head out, but God bless you guys.
32:6.
In the higher power of.
I love that shofar. You never want to sell it. Don't see it.
I went to Detroit to get it. That's the only captured city in the United States. War of 1812.
I can't find a shofar. I knew it.
All right, let's get to the lesson real quick. Deuteronomy 32:6.
It's Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 6. Do ye thus requite the Lord, O foolish people? Do ye thus requite the Lord, O foolish people, and unwise? Is not he thy father that hath bought thee? Hath he not made thee and established thee? Remember,
And our people, 2/3 of our people are trying to get establishment in this society in some type of way. But the ones who believe in Yahweh Shema Shai are trying to get established in the heavens, man. Go ahead.
remember the days of old, consider the years of many generations.
Wait, hold on. That's
Verse 7.
wait, hold on a second. Somebody get Jeremiah 5:22.
Thank you. God bless you.
Anytime you want to come back and talk, man, we can break bread, man.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 5, and verse 22.
Hey, thank you guys. God
Fear
bless
ye
you.
not me, saith the Lord.
Do you not requite the Most High? Do you not reverence the Most High? You don't fear the Most High, man? Go ahead.
Will ye not tremble at my presence?
But you won't tremble at the Lord's presence, but you'll tremble at the presence of Esau. Back in the days when the prophets come on the scene, everybody would tremble. Like, are you bringing good tidings or bad tidings? We look at when Jonah went to Nineveh, man. They started putting ashes on their head and put on sackcloth, man. Got into a state of mourning, right? Because what? They feared the word of Yahweh.
Will ye not tremble at my presence, which have placed the sand for the bound of the sea?
Which have placed the sand for the bounds of the sea. Lord set bounds on everything on this earth, man. But you're not going to tremble at his presence? Go ahead.
By a particular decree that it cannot pass it.
So not only did he set bounds on the land and the sea and the trees, he set bounds to these nations. Somebody get Deuteronomy 32:7.
It's Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 7. Remember the days of old, consider the years of many generations. Ask thy father, and he will show thee thy elders, and they will tell thee, when the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel.
So now, when he lifted up these other nations, right, he only let them go so far. So now, when he establishes us and lifts us up and puts us on top, we're gonna those bounds are gonna last forever. But these other nations had a boundary that they could not surpass, and it was spoken of in the book of Job too. So going backwards a little bit, somebody get Jeremiah 6:16.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 6 and verse 16.
He said, so look at the elders, man. All right, go ahead.
Thus saith the Lord, stand ye in the ways and see, and ask for the old paths, where is the good way?
Where is that good way? And the Lord's trying to establish that through the elect of the children of Israel right now to this day. Go ahead.
And walk therein, and ye shall find rest for your soul.
But 2/3 of our people are trying to rest in this place, man, like that wicked demonic chick that came up there mad because Esau has to go into slavery according to what they've done on the earth, man. So whatever seed you plant in the earth, that's what you're gonna reap. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you emotionally don't feel it. It has nothing to do with that. It's all according to the will and judgment of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. All right, go ahead.
This book of Psalm 116, 12, and 13. What should I render unto the Lord Yahweh Shai for all his benefit toward me? I will take the cup of salvation and call upon the name of the Lord.
All right, so that's taking the cup of salvation by believing in the name of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai and call upon the name of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. All right, somebody get Deuteronomy 32:7 again. Go all the way to 17.
Deuteronomy 32:7. Remember the days of old, consider the years of many generations. Ask thy father, and he will show thee thy elders, and they will tell thee. When the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel.
And that's how he set the bounds, according to the number of the children of Israel. So he set bounds to these other nations that they cannot surpass. Right, so no matter how much affliction that they try to place on the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans that believe in the Father named Yahweh and His Son Yahushua, they can only go so far. All right, and the Lord is going to bring them out through judgment and mercy. Go ahead.
Verse 9.
Say again? Where's the Lions Den? Where you following from the umbrella of GMS? Okay.
So I don't really know nobody out there. I was doing the same thing out there. Sometime somewhere downtown. Came over here. Some brother over there. I was wrong, but I seen my friends.
That's good. Yeah, that's the spirit of the Lord. Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, man. Yeah, that's what's up, man. Yeah, we out here every Saturday, bro. We got any flyers? We'll get you a flyer, man. YouTube name Lions Den, y'all see all the main page. Yeah, we're gonna get you all the information. But yeah, every Saturday, bro. Come in.
Yeah. Hey, you know about the name of the Lord? Yeah. Yahweh. My man.
Hey, before we're gonna go further in the lesson. Before you leave, I'm gonna give you my contact, so you know what I'm saying, to keep up with everything. All right, cool. All right. If you have any questions or anything, feel free to ask them too, bro. All right, go ahead.
Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 9.
And you see what the Spirit of the Lord do? See, the brother was just over there downtown and happened to be riding by here to seeing our fringes and our garments. All right, the proper attire that we're supposed to wear when we're out here teaching. Go ahead.
For the Lord's portion is his people.
Boom, and he's gathering his people through the Spirit. And we're witnessing that right now to this day. Go ahead.
Jacob is the lot of his inheritance. He found him in a desert land and in the waste of howling wilderness.
And we're right here in that position today, right here in America, and scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, because Esau has made the whole world a wilderness, man. So the main deliverance is going to come right out of here in America, and it's still going to be delivered throughout the four corners of the earth, right? But the Lord's portion is his people. So he set the lot and bounds of these nations according to the number of children of Israel. So now, with that being said, once we become in the rulership, guess what? These nations are going to have their own form of living, right? Once the kingdom is established and rebuilt. The only nation that's not going to have that is the nation of Esau, which are going to be utterly destroyed. Interjection?
Proverbs chapter 11, verse 8. It says the righteous is delivered out of trouble, and the wicked come up in his stead.
So the wicked is set as a ransom for the righteous, man. All right, so all this thing that they got set up to try to destroy us as a people is ultimately going to lead them to their destruction, man. We're talking about Esau, Caucasian race. Go ahead.
That was it.
All right, Akal, you got one? Yeah. All right.
This is Zechariah 13:9. And I will bring the third part through the fire and will refine them as silver is refined and try them as gold is tried.
And that's the purification process that we've been going through the beginning, man. Now, the 1/3 that believe in the name of Yahweh that choose not to go conform to the ways of the wicked, that are being pulled out of this idolatry that's set up in this system to Hellenize our people once again, like Antiochus did in 168 BC. Go ahead.
They shall call on my name, and I will hear them. I will say, it is my people, and they shall say, the Lord, Yahweh Shai, is my power.
So in the place where it said they are not my people, there shall there be established that they're the children of Yahweh Shai. So it doesn't matter what the media is trying to force Kyrie and Kanye to say, but it's what's going to be the calling of the Lord, how the Lord's going to speak and let the whole world know that he's going to magnify his people, the children of Israel, the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. You got some more on that? All right, you got a few something.
This is Ezekiel chapter 37 and verse 21. And say unto them, thus saith the Lord, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, behold, I will take the children of Israel from among the heathen, whether they be gone, and will gather them on every side and bring them into their own land.
Why? Because the Israel is the lot of his inheritance. All right, so he set the bounds according to the children of Israel. So these nations can only go so far, but it's really to establish Israel as being the rulers of this earth under Yahweh Shai. You had an interjection real quick? All right, go ahead.
And, verse 22, and I will make them one nation in the land upon the mountains of Israel, and one king shall be king to them all, and they shall be no more two nations, neither shall they be divided into two kingdoms anymore at all.
All right, so now after King David, all right, and Solomon, you had Jeroboam and Rehoboam, and then we're split, the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. Now through the Spirit, the Lord is gathering us together to become one stick. Right? That goes back to what, Zechariah, where we had the ephod and two women came out. That's us we're going into captivity together, right? And being delivered together, man. All right, that was it on that? All right, go ahead.
It's the book of Hosea 1:11. Then should the children of Judah and the children of Israel be gathered together.
All right, that's the northern and the southern kingdom being gathered together. Go ahead.
And appoint themselves one head.
One head, and that head is Yahweh Shai.
And they should come up out of the land. For great should be the day of Jezreel.
All right, so great shall be the great day of Jezreel. Is that some more on that?
That's the last one.
Oh, that's it. All right. All right. So that's what's being established right here in America, man. Those bones being lifted up and becoming a great exceeding army. All right, back to Deuteronomy.
It's Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 10. He found him in a desert land and in the waste of howling wilderness. He led him about. He instructed him. He kept him as the apple of his eye.
And that's the whole point, man. That regardless of what we go through from the beginning into the end, he's always kept a close watch on the apple of his eye, that being the children of Israel, man. Purifying the nation of his inheritance. Go ahead.
Verse 11. As an eagle stirreth up her nest, fluttering over her young, spreadeth abroad her wings, taketh them, beareth them on her wings.
Boom. And what the Lord is doing, when an eagle is ready for their young to get out of the nest and fly, they prickle up the nest and make it real uncomfortable for them to sit there so they just jump out and soar and fly. That's what the Lord is doing. It said, somebody get Revelation 12 and 12 real quick. Baba Kushan.
Revelation chapter 12, verse 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them.
All right, so that's why we stash our riches in heaven, because that's where our mindset is. The kingdom of heaven is within us. So that's what we're profounding New Jerusalem, according to the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai upon his elect. So why? We reside in the heavens, not here on this earth, man. We're not being bound to this system because we're free from the system according to the truth. Go ahead.
Woe to the inhabitants of the earth.
That's why the Lord said, depart, for this is not your rest. So if your habitation, your mindset is here, you're going to be destroyed right along with this place. Go ahead.
And of the sea, for the devil is come down to you having great wrath, because he knows that he has but a short time.
Because he knows that he has but a short time, man. So now that affliction is going to crank up. But the ones that believe in the name of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai are rejoicing, because you know what? That means this is coming of our time of our salvation. All right, go back to that Deuteronomy.
Verse 12. So Deuteronomy 32 and 12. So the Lord alone did lead him, and there was no strange power with him.
Wait, no, read 11 again.
As an eagle stirred up her nest, fluttereth over her young.
So now the devil has come down having great wrath, right? Stirring up the nest of this place. So the elect of our people will not feel comfortable at this place. All right, this is not our rest, but 2/3 of our people are trying to find rest in this place. So even though this nest is prickling and they're trying to still seek refuge here, because why? They don't want to turn to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. They'd rather sit in darkness. Keep going.
Spreadeth abroad her wings, taketh them, beareth them on her wings. So the Lord alone did lead him, and there was no strange power with him.
So the Lord alone is going to lead us out of this captivity, and he's been doing that from generation to generation. Every captivity that we've been through, the Lord has led us out of that. You got an interjection?
Yeah. And what that mean by bearing us on the wings, it means the Lord delivered us swiftly.
All
right. This is Exodus 19. You said over many generations, just like in 70 AD, the Lord bared us on his wings again and had us flee into the wilderness. And now he's gonna bear us on his wings, and the wings gonna be the chariots. This is Exodus 19 and 4. Ye have seen what I did unto the Egyptians, how I bear you on eagle's wings and brought you unto myself.
Boom. And that's going to happen again with the second Exodus, man. Right. We're being brought to Yahweh through the spirit of his son, Yahweh Shai. Go ahead.
This is the book of John 17 and 12.
I'll take it.
Oh, I thought I had missed something. I was like, hold what?
It says, while I was with them in the world, I kept them in thy name. Those thou hast givest me, I have kept, and none of them is lost. But the son of perdition, that the scripture might be fulfilled.
So the only reason why Judas was lost was so the prophecy could be fulfilled, man. So 2/3 had to go off for prophecy to be fulfilled. So this is all done by Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Nothing happened on accident, man. He scripted it, he inscribed it, he wrote it, and it's being manifested and coming to pass. All right,
go ahead. This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 9. I'll start at verse 19. For then everyone obeyed, but now the manners of them which are created in this world that is made are corrupted by a perpetual seed and by a law which is unsearchable, rid themselves. So I considered the world, and behold, there was peril because of the devices that were coming to it. And I saw and spared it greatly, and have kept me a grape of the cluster and a plant of a great people.
So those devices are the imaginations of the wicked. Everything starts with a thought. I want a building right there. I put it in the mind, put it on a blueprint, hire a general contractor, somebody to build it. That's how everything starts and is established in this society, man. Everything is done from a carnal imagination, and this is a memorial of what wickedness is, man. So the Lord wants everything to be erected. The Lord don't want these statues torn down. The Esau want these statues torn down to kind of hide them the wickedness that they've been done over generation to generation. But the Lord is going to establish that and make it manifest and let it be known who the wicked are in the earth.
Verse 22, let the multitude perish then, which was born in vain, and let my grape be kept and my plant, for with great labor have I made it perfect.
All right, so the Lord has made us, that's the whole point. With great labor, the Lord has made us perfect, man. It's all about the perfection of Israel, man, from the beginning until the end. Go ahead. That was it. All right, so we get back into Deuteronomy.
Deuteronomy 32 and 13. He made him ride on the high places of the earth, that he might eat the increase of the fields. And he made him to suck honey out of the rock and oil out of the flint rock.
And in Israel, we actually had mountains that used to leak out honey, man. That's the land that flowed milk and honey. It's spiritual, dealing with nutrients and protection, but we really had mountains that used to seek honey out, man, because the bees would make beehives within the mountains, and there would be real like honeycombs right there in the mountains, man. The land was beautiful, man, and the Lord made it for our sakes. But the Lord has a cleansing process, not only with the land, but first, what's the point of cleansing the land of Israel if the people aren't cleansed? Because we were a people before we were a place. So the journey for the children of Israel is the perfection, all right, for us to be able to inhabit that land in righteousness and righteous judgment throughout the earth.
Right. And he said he made him to ride upon the high places. That means he had us rule over those Canaanite governments. We took down those Canaanite governments with Joshua and Caleb. So the Lord made us to ride upon the high places, man. That's the same way the scriptures say, here comes our king, Yahushua, leaping upon the mountain. That means he's going to be conquering these governments.
It's the book of Isaiah 58 and 14. Then shalt thou delight thyself in the Lord Yahushua, and I will cause thee to the ride upon the high places of the earth, and feed thee with the inheritance of Jacob the father, for the mouth of the Lord hath spoken it.
The mouth of the Lord has spoken that. So we're going to be riding with Yahushua on these high places, man. And that's the establishment of the children of Israel. That's our hope. We don't want to rule with Esau in this wicked ass society, man. We don't want to have nothing to do with it. We want to see this place destroyed. And every ideology, idle thought that brought forth these wicked devices to be destroyed right along with it. We don't even want these thoughts to even be in the minds of anybody anymore, man. We're going to destroy everything that comes along with it. And which one of these heathens would? I wish you would think it. I wish you would think it. We're going to bring straight righteous judgment. There's nothing, there's only righteousness in Yahweh by Shem Yahushai. And with that being said, he's establishing only righteousness in Jacob. What is it? Isaiah 60, it says, all thy people shall be righteous. I think it's Isaiah 60, but if we can find it, we can get it. Go ahead.
Isaiah 36.
Is it? No, it literally says, and all thy people shall be righteous. And, yeah, you can keep on going.
Isaiah chapter 60 and 21, thy people also shall be all righteous. They shall inherit the land forever. The branch of my planting, the work of my hands, that I may be glorified.
That he may be glorified. So the Lord is doing a work to establish a righteous root in Israel, right? To rule the nations, and right in righteousness under Yahweh by Shem Yahushai, man. And that's ultimately what it is. It's the work. We are the work of the Most High's hand. We're being the manifestation of his existence, right? By us ruling on the earth under his son, Yahushai, man. That's beautiful, man. That's beautiful, man. That's divine intervention from the beginning of the end, all the way. But there is no end, meaning forever. We're going to forever rule under Yahushai. Come on.
It's Jeremiah 51 and 20. Thou art my battle axe and weapons of war, for with thee will I break in pieces the nations.
But he must establish us in righteousness first, because guess what? And what order are we coming in? We could break in pieces these nations and still be wicked right along with them. But the Lord, before we break these nations into pieces, we're going to be doing it in the righteousness. So he has to establish that within us in the spirit, man. Go ahead.
And with thee will I destroy kingdoms, And with thee will I break in pieces the horse and his rider.
The horse and his rider, man. Come on, man. Who is that horse? Esau riding in on his high horse. The Lord's gonna knock him off of it. Like he did Antiochus Epiphanes, he knocked off the horse and busted up all his insides. That's why the Lord said he shall die without hand.
Sister tried to warn him.
Yeah.
Said the Lord's gonna do him dirty.
Said the Lord's gonna do him dirty. Did him so dirty that wasn't he one that had a sickness and he stank?
Oh, yeah, they will push him in a wheelbarrow.
Yeah, they left him out in the open because he smelled so bad that nobody wanted to be next to him.
He was decaying from the inside out. And then in his decay, he was like, okay, yeah, Yahweh is the Lord.
Yeah, and then he put together a treaty to stop persecuting the children of Israel at that time. That's how the Lord put hell on him, boy.
Man, that's showing that the Lord ruleth in the kingdom of men. Because somebody that was exalted so much can be brought down so goddamn low, man. That shows power.
And vice versa.
Right. Going back to Tobit 13:2, man. The Lord make him live, and he raised him up and he saved him. You know, he could bring the body down to hell, man. And that Edom, Esau was Esau is a great example of that. The guy was decaying from the inside out.
And the Lord is established. He said, just like as he did under Pharaoh, that he may make his name declared throughout the earth. Look how high he is exalting Esau. He gave Esau the power to rule the whole earth. Then he's gonna bring him down.
Cha-cha slide. Reverse.
All right, that goes to Daniel chapter 4, verse 17. He set up over it the base of men, man. That caveman that didn't even know how to speak, the booga booga. That's all they knew, man. He took that and brought it up to rule the whole earth. Come on, man. That's showing the power of Yahweh, divine intervention. Because they couldn't have did it on their own. Some more precepts? All right, go ahead. This is Malachi chapter 4, verse 1. For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble. And that day cometh shall burn them up, saying, Yahweh of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. So that's that glistening sword. When he wet his glistening sword, man, it's gonna bring destruction on this earth. The missiles gonna tear this place up, man. He's gonna denuclearize the whole earth. Ain't no ICBM nuclear missile that's created not gonna go off. They all are gonna go off, and 200 million of them are gonna hit this place, America, man.
Yeah, any missiles that left over, they're gonna beat those in the pruning hooks.
Yeah, they're gonna turn them into tractors.
And backhoes. What do you call them?
Yeah, backhoes.
Yeah. Zion, which is sickles.
This is the book of Jeremiah 16:14. Therefore, behold, the day is come, saith the Lord, that it shall no more be said, the Lord liveth, that brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. But the Lord liveth, that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north, and from all the lands whither he had driven them, and will bring them again into their land that I gave unto their fathers. God, man.
I was meditating on the land of the north thing. And how he said he delivered them out of the land of the north. All right, ultimately representing America, all right, North America. And it's already proclaimed and it's already written. All right.
Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 14. Butter of kine or kin, and milk of sheep with fat of lambs, and rams of the breed of Bashan, and goats with the fat of kidneys of wheat. Thou didst drink the pure blood of the grape, but Jeshurun waxed fat and kicked. Thou art waxen fat. Thou art grown thick. Thou art covered with fatness.
Boom. And what did we do when we got fat? We started acting like these other nations, just like the elder was established earlier than we were speaking about. And in Ezekiel 16 talks about the same thing, saying the Lord saying how he found us unswaddled in a pool of blood with all the nations passing by us. So he took us up, swaddled us, gave us all kind of jewels and gold and silver and rubies and decked us, meaning that he gave us the laws, man. He gave us, man, somebody get Deuteronomy chapter 4.
And he physically gave that to us.
God.
He physically, he had us eating the lambs and everything. We had all of that. We were right over there. He even let us leave out of Egypt with all that stuff.
With all that shit.
You know, the Lord had a trade surplus set up and everything for us, man. But as soon as we waxed fat, just like a wicked woman, she got thick. She was showing her ass. Come on, Harless.
Right.
I don't need no man.
God. So what did we do? We went chasing after our lovers, man, which was the other nations and their idolatry. But we're being separated from these other nations, and we're still being separated from these other nations. So even the children of Israel had their bounds that we cannot surpass, because he's going to leave an elect, all right, to be established from captivity to captivity, so we can have a deliverer to bring us from one captivity to the next, all the way to the end, for us to be established under the spirit of Yahweh Shai.
Right. That bound that we cannot pass is our punishment.
God.
Once we get past our punishment, it's blessings for us, man.
God.
We can't stay in that. We can't stay in the hell forever, in the hellish state forever, because Yahweh Shai got to get his throne. By him getting his throne is going to be righteousness on the earth. So it's impossible for us to be in this hellish condition forever. So the Lord set a bound for us as well, for our punishment. I'm going to whip your ass for this long. And that's spoken of in Daniel chapter 9. All right? He set a time limit for it. Right. He appointed their bounds that they can't go over.
Hey, man, come on, that's showing the power of the Lord, man. So no matter what this devil wants to do, because he really been trying to commit genocide from the beginning. All right. He tried to do that with Cain and Abel. All right. Then Seth was born. He tried to do that with Jacob and Esau. Jacob was changed to Israel. All right. So we're being established under that covenant from the beginning.
Right, man. Yahweh Shai is that drawing line. That line in the sand. That's Yahweh Shai. Once that line is crossed, that's it for them. This upside down kingdom gonna be turned up right.
What was that song that Akon had? He said, if you ever cross that line, there will be nothing that you could do to save you.
Right, the gun line.
That's that line that's being drawn in the sand.
That's the gun line, boss.
This is Deuteronomy 4:4. But ye that did cleave unto the Lord, Yahweh Shai. Deuteronomy 4:5. Behold, I have taught you the statutes and judgments, even as the Lord Yahweh Shai, my power, commanded me, that ye should do so in the land whether ye go to possess it.
Whether we were going, that's when we was going into Israel. But this mindset was supposed to be carried over into our captivities, man. It was a way to show us, all right, this is what happens to you by following these other nations. But he left a little sanctuary in the midst for us, and guidelines for us to follow. That's the law, statutes, and commandments, and faith in his son, Yahweh Shai, man.
This is Deuteronomy 4:6. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is wise and understanding people.
But what are they saying about us right now? Boy, these some N-I-G-G-A. Bywords and proverbs. That's all they is.
Yeah, became a gaze and stop.
Became a gaze and stop. But now that's going to be reversed, because we're going to be established on those same statutes, and that establishment comes from the faith in Yahweh Shai, man. You know, faith establishes all those statutes that was written unto us by Yahweh Shai, because the laws become a part of our lifestyle. All right, and we strive for perfection through the spirit of Yahweh Shai, knowing that we have a deliverer that could take us to the bounds to the places that we need to be in the spirit.
Deuteronomy 32:15. But Jashan waxed fat and kicked. Thou art waxen fat. Thou art grown thick. Thou art covered with fatness. Then he forsook Yahweh, which made him, and lightly esteemed the rock of his salvation.
I think what is that, Jeshurun? It's a poetic way of saying Jerusalem. It's really mean, or Israel. It just means I think upright one.
Verse 16. They provoked him to jealousy with strange gods, with abominations provoked him him to anger.
All right, and our people are still doing it to this day. That's why the Lord had to preserve one. Just go back to when he was going to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah, and Abraham was talking to him like, hey, if there's like 50 righteous people there, will you you know what I'm saying, say, yeah, I'll preserve those 50. You're like, what if there's 40, you know? But right now, he's preserving his elect and is going to destroy the rest, just like how he did. He saved Lot and his family, right? But the one that turned back, his wife, she turned to a pillar of salt. She's still standing there to this day, looking backwards. Yeah, salty.
Verse 17. They sacrificed unto devils, not to Yahweh, to gods whom they knew not, to new gods that came newly up, to whom your fathers feared not.
But the Lord said, look at the generation of old. Establish what was in the beginning, not this newness of stuff that comes along. You know, go ahead.
Verse 18. Of the rock that begat.
Wait. Hosea 2 and 5.
This is the book of Hosea, chapter 2, verse 5. For their mother have played the harlot, she that conceived them have done shamefully. For she said, I will go after my lovers that give me my bread and my water.
And even though the Most High established us, right, we gave that glory to these other false gods. All right, started doing spiritual idolatry. Go ahead, adultery.
My wool and my bread and my water, my wool and my flax, my oil and my drink. Therefore, behold, I will hedge up thy way with thrones.
Can you imagine? This is how the Most High feel. Can you imagine having a woman and giving her the world? You gave her everything, right? And then she goes to some other dude and establishes a covenant with them and says, oh, you were the one that gave me all this. Can you imagine? That's how the Most High feels. That's why he told Hosea to go marry an adulterous woman. That's how he feels about the children of Israel, man. He was establishing righteousness in us, but we turned it into wickedness by saying we got this from these other nations and their God, which are no gods at all.
That's what they do today. They think they get all their blessings from America. They think all their blessings come from Esau.
Right.
But they don't know that it was a curse on our people, that the Father said we're going to have to go to them for the one of all things. And Wisdom of Solomon chapter 6 says clearly that Esau got their power from the Most High. Job 9 and 24, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked.
It is.
Genesis 25, that was going to be on Esau. They're going to gain the fatness of the earth through being a damn thief. The curse that was on Cain. So I was like,
you're going to be a vagabond in the earth, man. Right. Go ahead.
This is the book of Job 28 and 28. And unto man he say, behold, the fear of the Lord Jehovah Shai, that's a wisdom, and to depart from evil is understanding.
Right, but you got 2/3 of our people that are their wickedness is so embedded in them they can't depart from it. So the Lord is going to have them bend their back down all the way to destruction, man. You know, but the elect have obtained it, and the rest were blinded.
Prime example was earlier when prime example that was from earlier when the girl walked up and said, oh, I can't deal with that. You know, she's stuck in her ways, man. Why? So it's like brother was saying earlier, she can't be open-minded into the truth. So if she probably was, she would be able to see where we was coming from.
But the Lord didn't want her to see. Right? She's gonna be stuck in her ways, and she's gonna be stuck with a missile, man. All right. Go ahead. Oh yeah. Hosea 2 and 5 all the way to 8.
God. Hosea 2 and 6. Therefore, behold, I will hedge up that way with thorns, and make a wall that she shall not find her path.
So he had taken away a truth away from us, man. So now he had hedged up our way with thorns, man. All right. So we will discontinue from our heritage.
Way back home, he hedged it up.
Yeah. Come on, man. Just like how he did in the garden, where he says he hid the tree of life.
Same thing.
Come on, man. So now We have access to the tree of life again through the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is being restored unto us, the elect first. All right, go ahead, all the way to 8.
Fine. Hosea 2:7. And he shall follow after her lovers, and she shall not overtake them. And she shall seek them, but she shall not find them.
So ain't gonna be no rest in this place, man. There's no rest in this place. There's no rest in trying to conform to the ways of these nations, man. We have to take heed to what Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is speaking unto us and move forward from that. But 2/3 of our people are going to still follow after their authority, the devil, man.
And you should not overtake them, man. It don't matter what Jake do in this society, they will never surpass Esau. Except for in wickedness. That's about it.
That's about it.
But you gotta go through Yahushua to defeat them devils. We gotta go through Yahushua to conquer all these nations, man. Any other way, he said they should not overtake them. They can trim their ways to seek love, try to woo them, paint their face like a harlot. But Jake will never surpass Esau unless we go through Yahushua.
Man, it's scripture in Ezekiel 16, and it says that harlots receive rewards for their work. But it says the children of Israel paid to be harlots, man. So the children of Israel pay to be harlots, man. So we don't receive any benefits for the spiritual adultery that we commit against Yahweh by Shem Yahushai. Only thing we receive is judgment. Retarded whoredom. Backwards harlot. Go ahead.
Willing to be the so-called bottom beat.
To Esau. And the system.
Basically, our people, they what we used to call down here back in the day, a takeoff. Self-use, takeoff pay you rather than you paying the takeoff to do.
That explains our people. I'm sorry.
All shit, you got like scripture say, freely receive, freely give, man. We out here freely receiving this information from the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushai and giving it, but yet 2/3 of our people going into these harlot houses paying for it, man. You know, these whorehouses, all right, which would be these churches, all right, paying for the doctrine, man, the false doctrine, that all right, and not getting anything from it, man, not getting no nourishment.
Or not only that, either they're going to hold on, let's go run down the line.
They buying that merch.
Come on, hold this real quick. So now they go into the harlot houses and listen to the false prophet. You ain't even got to necessarily go into the churches, but it's the ideology behind these false religions, man. But not only do they go to the harlot houses, they go to these universities, these secret societies, Mason, fraternities, sororities. They go to all this to try to seek some form of refuge or establishment in this system. There's all sorts of forms of ways of being a harlot in spiritual adultery in the system, and it's being set up by Esau. And Jake will find 2/3 of Jake will find some way to become a part of that, man.
We can check.
Go ahead.
This book of Jude 1:6 and 7. And the angel which keep not their first estate, but left their own habitation.
Man, their first estate being established in Yahweh by Shem Yahushai, according to these laws and statutes that was developed, that Moses gave to us when he came out the mount. Go ahead.
He have reserved in everlasting chain under the darkness, unto the judgment of the great day.
So basically, they're in the chains of darkness, which is the flesh. So they act according to the flesh, man. So they're not spiritually minded, man. So to be carnally minded is death. So the Lord is going to preserve them, all right? And man, listen, and let these missiles consume them. He ain't gonna even pull that spirit out of their body right away. They're gonna sit there in that torment for a little minute, man. That's a judgment to these people. All right,
even number 7.
Okay,
even as Sodom and Gomorrah and the city about them in like manner, giving themselves over to fornication and going after strange flesh, are set forth for ensample, suffering the vengeance of eternal fire.
And that new example is going to be America. That's not going to be that new example, a new memorial. Okay, we got to wrap it up. All right. So a good precept too. Go ahead. Yeah.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 2 and verse 19. Thy own wickedness shall correct thee, and thy backsliding shall reprove thee. Know therefore and see that it is an evil thing and bitter that thou hast forsaken the Lord thy power. and that my fear is not in thee, saith the Lord God of hosts. For of old time I have broken thy yoke and burst thy bands, and thou saidest, I will not transgress. When upon every high hill and under every green tree thou wanderest playing the harlot.
Man, listen, have you ever been a child and you get an ass whooping, you tell your parents you ain't gonna do it no more, then you go right back out the door and do it again? Man, listen, quick testimony, when I first came into the truth, I was all happy, excited. And then the elders say, get involved with the stories, man. Read the stories and get in tune with your heritage, know where you came from. And bruh, I saw myself when I was in the world as the children of Israel. Because every time we would get delivered out of a situation, you'll flip over to the next page and it'll say, and the children of Israel did evil in the sight of the Lord again. And it gets a repetitive. And it got a little frustrated. I'm like, because we can't, at that point in time, I was like, damn, we can't get it right. But who is Mr. Can't Get Right? Esau. So that's our people trying to follow behind this wicked devil and these other nations. But when we follow the land, wheresoever we go, that's when we establish righteousness on the earth, man. Through that spirit.
Can't see nothing without the light.
Can't see nothing without the light. So 2/3 of our people still want to go around in the dark, right, but in the noonday.
Yeah, it's about timing. It's about the chemistry. It's about the timing. It's about the Most High's time. We couldn't wake up. They said, disturb not my love before the time. So we couldn't. These fake pastors, they couldn't wake us up. You know. So it's all about the Lord's time. It's all about Yahweh's timing when He decided to give that light, that light of all men, which is the elect of Israel.
And that became what? The condemnation of the world, right? Because the world is established in darkness. But then when the light entered into the world, the light flee from the darkness. Man. The darkness flee from the light. It's like Deuteronomy 30. Oh, you have something? 32 and 18.
It's Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 18. It says, of the rock that begat thee, thou art unmindful, and hast forgiven Yahweh that formed thee. Forgotten Yahweh that formed thee.
Oh, man, somebody get Jeremiah 2 and 11 real quick, man.
It's Jeremiah chapter 2 and verse 11. Have a nation changed their gods, which are yet no gods?
So you forgot all about how you was established, Israel? Through Yahweh by Shem Yahushai, and trying to give glory to another nation? And glory to false idols and false gods. But the Lord said He's not going to give His glory unto another, so He's going to establish His glory through the elect of the children of Israel. All right, real quick, go to 19 of Deuteronomy 32.
Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 19. And when the Lord saw it, He abhorred them because of the provoking of His sons and of His daughters. And He said, I will hide my face from them. I will see what their end shall be, for they are a very froward generation, children in whom is no faith.
All right, so He hid His face from us. All right, so now we ain't have no hope. So yeah, froward, wicked, being like Esau. So now, the seek His face is to what? Seek His Son Yahushua, man, and that's how we're being reestablished through the faith of Yahweh by Shem Yahushua. All right, all the way you go to 22. All right.
This
is probably the last one.
Verse 21. They have moved me to jealousy with that which is not power. They have provoked me to anger with their vanities, and I will move them to jealousy with those which are not a people. I will provoke them to anger with a foolish nation.
All right, so now, by the foolishness of preaching to save those that believe. All right, so what did Paul say he came to do? Provoke them to emulation, man. So that's what's happening in these times. What the elect are on this earth, what to provoke the other elect to conform to the same way through the spirit of Yahweh by Shem Yahushua. I'll get one scripture to close out. Let's get Isaiah 34 and 16 real quick.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 34 and verse 16. Seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read, and no one of these shall fail, none shall want her mate.
And that's how we're going to be established, through seeking out of the book of Yahweh by Shem Yahushua and read. And none of these prophecies that are being spoken of in this book are going to fail. None shall want her mate. Go ahead.
For my mouth it hath commanded,
So the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are the Israelites of the Bible, man.
For my mouth it have commanded, and his spirit it have gathered them.
His mouth has commanded, and the spirit of the Lord has gathered them, man. But that's how we're being moved through the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua being established here on this earth.
The spirit of the Lord has gathered
The
us.
spirit of the Lord has gathered us,
That's
man. Just like
gathering
you were
them,
saying before. Kind of like Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. All right, man. Got a couple more before we close out.
All right, this is the book of
Man.
All right, this is the book of Psalms, chapter 22 and verse 26. The meek shall eat and be satisfied. They shall praise the Lord that seek him. Your heart shall live forever.
All right, so the meek shall eat and be satisfied, being established through the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, man. And it's going to be manifested throughout the ends of the earth. All right, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying and serve its purpose for the hopefully elect, the ones that truly believe in the name of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua.
You got one more.
One more?
You sure? Okay. Yeah, you good.
All right. So with that, we want to give all praise
Hey,
to the Most.
Shalom, JFGD, Egg. He consistent,
I don't
right?
either,
Whoever
man.
that is.
They be leaving comments on my page.
Yeah, man. Shout out to you, man. Shalom, brother.
All right, so we're going to give all praises to the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit of truth in the proper Hebrew tongue, Lashman Kodash. We're going to say, Kal, Alayim, La, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Ha, Rakah, Kodash, Ma'amah. Double honor to the elder apostles, the great millstone, and our elder Aaron Juan as well. Salutations to the Akim that believe that are out here pushing the sincerity and truth. And shalom to the men, women, and children that truly believe in the sincerity and truth, man. We're almost out of here, being established by the Spirit of the Lord, man. Keep pushing. Shalom.
Shalom.